sama kita membuild mental lagi.
بالنسبه للمنافسين اللي ضدنا ما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد فيهم، كنشوفهم كاملين المنافسين ديالنا ناويين نربحهم كاملين وما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد.
Buriram chính là đối thủ mà khiến cho team mình e ngại nhất. Đó là nhắn nhủ tới Buriram là tuần 1 tụi mình chỉ giấu bài thôi, tới chung kết tụi mình sẽ tung bài thực sự của tụi mình. Buriram hãy coi chừng team FFWS.
As the chase for the spotlight continues, another heated dispute has risen in Rio, the clash of snipers, starring Moshi, X-Boar, and of course MT7, the backbone of Team Fluxo.
Tao là xạ thủ số 1 thế giới.
The best sniper ของจริง
Não, nem sei o que vocês estão falando, eu sou o melhor. Eu consigo matar o squad sozinho.
ไม่ต้องเล่นละเกมอ่ะ เล่นบอลอยู่นี่ก็ชนะได้
Vai ficar se achando? Eu consigo acabar com um time tailandês sozinho.
Trong khi các bạn đang vẫn chiến đấu, Watt sẽ giành lấy mọi sự chú ý. Em và team em rất tự tin để có thể đánh bại tất cả đội tuyển và mang cho team mình cái chức vô địch rồi.
Mano, a gente tá jogando bem. Pra final nós vai estar 100% e vai amassar.
ถ้าให้ผมทำนายกับตารางคะแนนก็น่าจะเป็นทีมไทยติดท็อปหมดเลยครับ แต่ผมอยู่ที่ 1 แน่นอน
The heat in Rio is turning up. Prepare yourself for week 2.
Quadra kill. Triple kill. Quadra kill.
Já tomou a passagem, sai do por aqui, tentou pra cima!
Congratulations.
Bom dia, padrinho.
Cadê? Sai dentro aí.
Mas sem vazar. Cidade aí, meu parceiro. Que isso?
Que isso, mano?
Igual em ponto, não vamos.
Calma, junto, e que
Boa, Carlos, Cabelão James.
Primero que todo, pues muchas gracias.
Congratulations. Boa, Cabelão. Yofi, congratulations. Triple kill. Unstoppable. Double kill. Quadra kill.
Fala dele, bravo! Não foge do roteiro, é o Burira vencendo.
The FFWS Global Finals are in full swing.
ก็โดยรวมสัปดาห์แรกก็บุรีรัมย์ได้ทำได้ดีครับก็ตามคาดได้ที่ 1 ครับ
It's end of week 1 and all eyes are on Buriram. With 5 wins and a record score in the first week, there's only one question. Can anyone stop them?
Yo creo que podemos ganarles.
Dari kita sendiri tim RRQ, kita memperbanyak jam latihan, bonding bareng tim, sama kita membuild mental lagi.
بالنسبه للمنافسين اللي ضدنا ما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد فيهم، كنشوفهم كاملين منافسين ديالنا ناويين نربحهم كاملين وما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد.
Buriram chính là đối thủ mà khiến cho team mình e ngại nhất. Đó là nhắn nhủ tới Buriram là từng một tụi mình chỉ giấu bài thôi, tới chung kết tụi mình sẽ tung bài thực sự của tụi mình. Buriram hãy coi chừng team FFWS.
As the chase for the spotlight continues, another heated dispute has risen in Rio, the clash of snipers, starring Moshi, X-Bor, and of course MT7, the backbone of Team Fluxo.
Tao là xà hổ số 1 thế giới.
ผมอะ the best sniper ของจริง
Não, nem sei o que você tá falando, eu sou o melhor. Eu consigo matar o squad sozinho.
ไม่ต้องเล่นละเกมอะเล่นบอลอยู่นี่ก็ชนะได้
Vai ficar se achando, eu consigo acabar com o time tailandês sozinho.
Siêu! Trong khi các bạn đang bận chiến đấu, Watt sẽ giành lấy mọi sự chú ý. Em và team em rất tự tin để có thể đánh bại tất cả đội tuyển và mang cho team mình cái chức vô địch rồi.
Mano, a gente tá jogando bem. Pra final nós vai estar 100% e vai amassar.
ถ้าให้ผมทำนายกับตารางคะแนนก็น่าจะเป็นทีมไทยติดท็อปหมดเลยครับ แต่ผมอะอยู่ที่หนึ่งแน่นอน
The heat in Rio is turning up. Prepare yourself for week 2.
kill. Triple kill.
Bola dele, bravo, pra cima demais.
Quadra kill.
Export, já tomou na passagem, sai do por aqui, dentro pra cima.
Congratulations.
Bom dia, padrinho.
Cadê? Sai dentro aí.
Olha, sem vazar. Privacidade aí, meu parceiro, que isso?
Que isso, mano?
Igual em ponto, não vamos.
Calma, junto. ¿Y qué le queda?
Boa, Carlos, cabelão James.
Nona, primero que todo, pues muchas gracias.
Congratulations. Boa, cabelão. Oxi, congratulations.
Triple kill. Unstoppable. Double kill. Quadra kill.
Fala dele, bravo, não foge do roteiro, é o Bermuda vencendo.
The FFWS Global Finals are in full swing.
ก็โดยรวมสัปดาห์แรกก็บุรีรัมย์ได้ทำได้ดีครับก็ตามคาดได้ที่ 1 ครับ
It's end of week 1 and all eyes are on Buriram. With 5 wins and a record score in the first week, there's only one question. Can anyone stop them?
Yo creo que podemos ganarles.
Dari kita sendiri tim RRQ, kita memperbanyak jam latihan, bonding bareng tim, sama kita membuild mental lagi.
بالنسبه للمنافسين اللي ضدنا ما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد فيهم، كنشوفهم كاملين منافسين ديالنا ناويين نربحهم كاملين وما عندناش تخوف حتى واحد.
Buriram chính là đối thủ mà khiến cho team mình e ngại nhất. Đó là nhắn nhủ tới Buriram là từng một tụi mình chỉ giấu bài thôi, tới chung kết tụi mình sẽ tung bài thực sự của tụi mình. Buriram hãy coi chừng team FFWS.
As the chase for the spotlight continues, another heated dispute has risen in Rio, the clash of snipers, starring Moshi, X-Bor, and of course MT7, the backbone of Team Fluxo.
Tao là xà hổ số 1 thế giới.
ผมอะ the best sniper ของจริง
Não, nem sei o que você tá falando, eu sou o melhor. Eu consigo matar o squad sozinho.
ไม่ต้องเล่นละเกมอะเล่นบอลอยู่นี่ก็ชนะได้
Vai ficar se achando, eu consigo acabar com o time tailandês sozinho.
Siêu! Trong khi các bạn đang bận chiến đấu, Watt sẽ giành lấy mọi sự chú ý. Em và team em rất tự tin để có thể đánh bại tất cả đội tuyển và mang cho team mình cái chức vô địch rồi.
Mano, a gente tá jogando bem. Pra final nós vai estar 100% e vai amassar.
ถ้าให้ผมทำนายกับตารางคะแนนก็น่าจะเป็นทีมไทยติดท็อปหมดเลยครับ แต่ผมอะอยู่ที่หนึ่งแน่นอน
The heat in Rio is turning up. Prepare yourself for week 2.
Quadra kill. Triple kill.
Bola dele, bravo, pra cima demais.
Quadra kill.
Export, já tomou a passagem, sai do está por aqui, dentro pra cima.
Congratulations.
Bom dia, padrinho.
Cadê? Sai dentro aí?
Olha sem vazar. Agora você tá de aí, meu parceiro. Que isso?
Que isso, mano?
Igual em ponto, não vamos.
Calma, junto. ¿Y qué le queda?
Kaspersky's now in Free Fire. Get Kaspersky Plus and score an exclusive skin. With the most powerful antivirus, plus tools like unlimited VPN, gamer mode, and a password manager, you'll secure that booyah in style. Don't sleep on this. Keep your devices safe and play safe with Kaspersky.
What's up, survivors? The time has come. This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge. The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. There's no room for mistakes. Every second counts. Every move could be your last. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
Tudo é Brasil, meus amigos, o mais alto nível do Free Fire.
Killing spree.
E aí? Vai encarar?
E aí, pessoal! Sejam todos muito bem-vindos! Eu sou Camilota XP e tá começando Free Fire World Series. Sim, nossa última semana tá pegando fogo e ontem tivemos dominância tailandesa por aqui novamente, tá? Buriram conseguiu seus 3 buias e, além disso, vale ressaltar que Fluxo e Corinthians jogaram bem, tá? Entregaram um bom desempenho e seguem jogando por aqui. E a minha ansiedade é essa, porque a gente tem 4 times brasileiros. Good morning, isso.
Good morning, Camilota! Welcome back to day 2 of Knockout Stage, week 2. So, back in the recap yesterday, we have Bermuda Eastward, the dominator from Thailand, and they got 3 booyahs, and also the MVP belonged to Jonah. And today, we don't have them, but don't forget we have like 4 Brazil teams. It's gonna be an intense match, right?
Exactly, Yansu. E a gente segue falando aqui dos nossos 4 times brasileiros. Então isso quer dizer que o quê? A nossa torcida tá quadriplicada, entendeu? Eu quero você torcendo muito, mandando muita energia positiva, que o Grupo B vai finalizar o seu dia por aqui. E eu espero que esses meninos consigam se classificar para a nossa grande final, que é na semana que vem, Yansu.
Today is gonna be a different match. There are 4 teams from Brazil, but also we have a very strong team come from Thailand, which is WAG, or as known as WAG. Since they are at the 2nd place in the ranking from the previous ranking match, but I do believe that they will make some miracles today. And for some Indonesian team, we also have Purgatory, a team we have to keep an eye on.
E vamos fazer o seguinte, vamos conferir o que aconteceu ontem nessa fase classificatória.
And now we would like to invite all of you to watch our recap from yesterday.
Sobre nossa performance de hoje, tipo, o time não tá nada satisfeito. Tem que melhorar isso aí para não acontecer mais.
ทามมิ่งมันดีครับก็ไหลมาแล้วก็ไม่เจอเบียร์ยูดักครับก็เลยมีต้องไปตีบ้านขวาก็เลยแค่ตีไฟเดียวก็คือลุ้นแชมป์แล้วครับ
Mas viu que nós estava errando, consertamos, melhoramos e saiu buia.
Mungkin kita bagusnya di 1 match doang sih, sisa-sisanya ya kurang konsisten aja, jadi ya poinnya jelek.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, survivors of all ages. Today is day 5 of the knockout stage, which means it is the final chance for the teams in Group B to pick up their points before they can qualify for the final week of play right here at the Free Fire World Series Global Finals 2024. My name's AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Husky. We are your casters for the day.
Yeah, very excited because yesterday we got to witness Group B again take center stage against Group A. Some teams have some extra, objectives to be desired, like expectations. For me, myself, I kind of mentioned it. Some of these teams need to step up their game because today is the last day, and I'm looking at Evo's Divine. Been keeping an eye on them since yesterday. They didn't make the cut, and now they got 6 more rounds to somehow stay afloat.
Absolutely, and of course WASK is down in the dumps as well. Unfortunately for them, no matter what they do, I don't think it's going to be possible to break through the top 12 and of course maintain their spot there as well, because quite a number of teams are in the waiting within Group C as well, who are down there together with them to qualify, and they have lesser in terms of points to catch up with those in the top 12. And you're most definitely right, Husky. EVOS Divine, they don't just have to do it, but they have to do it all right here today. If possible, walk away just like Buriram with 3 booyahs to their name to even stand a chance to break through the top 12 and stay there.
Yeah, and even then it might not be enough, right? Like you can score 100 points today and it still hangs in the balance. Really comes down to how the Group C teams perform tomorrow, and if EVOS Divine and
these boys did it. So all they need to do now is just find that qualifier to the final week. But you know, I disagree with you a little bit there. If they do hit 100 points today, which is difficult for the team, but if they do, I think they are going to be able to keep that spot, because very close in terms of the number of points. Those who are just beyond them, they're not too far away. EVOS Divine has a really strong chance. And of course, one of the teams that they could potentially take away the spots from, or 2 of these teams, is actually RRQ as well as Red Eye Esports. Now, RRQ has not been the most consistent team out there. Red Eye Esports has been struggling as well in Group A. They have got one more final day of play tomorrow. All these boys need to do is make sure they do better than both of these teams right here today. Yesterday was a disappointing run for EVOS Divine, and of course the story is mainly about them, because this is once again the final day of play for the teams in Group B.
absolutely. And even if they overtake some of these teams, I gotta put a caveat there, right? They have to have a good cushion. Let's say you overtake RQ Kazu, you have to be at least, I think, 40-50 points ahead of them, and you have to pray that RQ Kazu completely bomb out tomorrow, right? So it's a lot of things have to be aligned for it to happen. But again, I agree, I wouldn't put it past them. I think EVOS they might have a good chance, just that they have to make use of every single round. Now that Group C are in the conversation, you know, with teams like 6K, Falcon Esports, Attack All Around, Pain Gaming, what else? I think WAG is also back in the picture as well, and they have been performing incredibly well. Paired up with yesterday's team of Corinthians and Fluxo having a decent day, it is not going to be easy for EVOS Divine.
CLG could be in trouble as well. Of course, the team is not too far away from EVOS Divine. I believe just about 6 or 7 points away from them. So consistently doing better than CLG today has got to be one of the main focus points of this Indonesian squad. And of course, as usual, the game schedule throughout the day will run through Bermuda, Purgatory, Alpine, Kalahari, and Nexterra in that exact sequence. And of course, we hit the randomizer for game number 6. One of these teams are going to be blessed with a map that they favor. If we have seen the ups and downs for some of these squads out there, not everybody loves the exact same maps. Now, we've darkened out all of the teams that are not going to be in play today. Those are the teams from Group A. So you can kind of see the rough situation these squads are in.
Yeah, and the benchmark right now is Red Eye Esports, 145 points, which honestly isn't too hard to overtake. You know, Attack All Around, Falcons, EVOS Divine, even Pain Gaming are all pretty close. You know, one good round could allow them to overtake Red Eye's spot. But I also yesterday was very interesting because aside from BRU, who again crushed the competition like they always do, and WASK, who didn't really show up, the other 9 teams have an almost average point, same average points throughout the whole day, right? Between 55 to 65, which is incredibly impressive considering that this is the first time that a knockout stage ended a day with most of the teams having such a close result.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, one of the greatest comeback of all times, WAG, making their comeback here to the international stage and of course outshining quite a number of teams out there, even better than Attack All Around, who are currently sitting in 11th spot. Taking a look at the numbers from Attack All Around is a little shocking because this squad really used to be one of the more dominating ones out there. But I guess Thailand is really having a tough time being the total dominators. Of course, we're going to take Buriram and Twisted Minds out of that list because they're ultimately consistent.
Yeah, and these two players also have been highlighted pretty often, right? Xbor and MT7. MT7 was kind of the one that was doubted when he joined Fluxo to take Yago's place, and Xbor also had his moments in the fall season, but they both showed up taking the same route of being questioned and proving everyone wrong, and now they are one of the top snipers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am super excited every time I get to see MT7 in play. It used to be Moshi that used to get me that excited as a sniper out there on the battlefield. I think, MT7 has successfully taken that away from him. I would love to see both of these snipers take each other on in the grand finals week. And by the way, Fluxo is moving out there. It is pretty much guaranteed that they will be playing. But can they become champions? Can they keep the championship in Brazil? Can they actually be the back-to-back champions? Of course, this is a whole new team, but 3 out of 4 players in this new squad trying to make it happen for themselves once again. And MT7 might just be the key this time around instead of Yago to get them there.
Yeah, no player has ever done it back to back, let alone on a different organization, right? Like 3 out of 4 of the players from the previous championship squad. It would be an insane story, but with how Fluxo has been playing so far, they can definitely make it deep into the round, but to close it out strong, I think that needs a bit more of a showing, right? Because they've been pretty passive. They don't take much initiative. They wait until the final phase to start fighting. And when push comes to shove, the Thai teams usually are the ones that pick the fight. And Fluxo needs to kind of find some comfort in that because they don't feel like they want to do so.
And Fluxo, they had a really slow start to yesterday, just like Buriram United Esports, right? Both of these teams started off really, really slow, only to kind of, heat up towards the ending part of the day where they hit 23 points and 20 points. A pretty average score for Fluxo to walk away from a full day of play, gathering a total of 75. But unlike Buriram, who literally hit a back-to-back-to-back booyah, if Fluxo can bring that version out of themselves today, we are obviously going to have a little bit more hope for Brazil. But it's also going to be a challenge to make big bets on them because, WAG, a team that came out of nowhere last week when groups B and C took each other on, they were the top squad.
Yeah, you're never going to feel good if, both your potential back-to-back booyahs were robbed by BRU, right? It definitely feels a bit bad for Fluxo. I think you can see it in the expression yesterday that it could have gone either way, but again, they just couldn't cross the finishing line. But when you look at the top elims, you got Jonah, you got Wasana, and you got MT7, right? We literally just talked about this guy being one of the premier snipers, and good to see him on that list alongside the MVP leaders, 3 of them from BRU, 2 of them from Twisted Minds.
Yeah, and this makes total sense. Buriram United Esports currently with 8 booyahs throughout the whole knockout stage, which is, downright insane. But this team has held a record of, really keeping hopes up high during the knockout stages and then letting us down during the grand finals. This is the most crucial stage they've been on. So fingers crossed that consistency does not show on through. But looking at the top 3 on this map, we've got Buriram United Esports, we've got Fluxo, as well as Pain Gaming. Let's see if or not we can hop on in there with them getting the top spots.
Eu tô muito preparada, Peu e Raja, muito ansiosa para essa primeira queda direto de Bermuda, Yansu.
Moving on to our first map is Bermuda, and we are all ready to take off. Are you guys ready to sit down and enjoy the day 2 of knockout stage of us?
Bora decolar porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, pega sua pipoca, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bermuda time, baby. Game 1 of day 5. 1 of 6 final chances for the team in Group B to climb up the leaderboard to qualify for the final week. And of course, the ones we have our eyes on for sure is going to be EVOS Divine, who are dangerously close beside WAG and Fluxo.
Yeah, speaking of WAG and Fluxo, they are about to get into a heated fight. This is something that yesterday Fluxo didn't have to deal with. I literally just pointed out that they do not want to fight. They like to take Mars Electric on Bermuda, but the fact that right now they're in Porchinok and having WAG near them and Evil's Divine having a scout nearby, this could go either really good for Fluxo or it could be a disaster to their start.
There's a potential this is going to be a disaster here. WAG is definitely very aggressive early game. Evil's Divine's Bara literally exposing himself pretty early on, and this is probably going to mess up the getaway plan here for Fluxo, giving a little bit of extra time for WAG, but quickly dealt with by Bobs. The headshot with the M1817 will be able to take him out of the equation, but WAG on that slow but sure approach. MT7 now up on top with the AUG in hand, trying to look for a couple of heads.
Yeah, they prepped it pretty well, right? The glue wall boost to get MT7 on top of the roof and give them vision, and now double Tatsuya rush to the back. They look for Cyrus. The Geo and Winston coming in with the pincer. Krillin trying to keep up, but Cyrus and Krillin both go down. Fluxo more than prepared to take on WAG in this opening fight, and they wipe them out at the cost of none. 5 points for Fluxo.
The only damage was Bob's, but even he did not get eliminated. Crazy start for Fluxo, and they have just gotten rid of the biggest threat of the day, WAG, very early on in the game.
Insane stuff from Fluxo. We needed to see if they are willing to take these fights in the early game because they've been playing so slow. They've been biding their time and waiting until the final phase. They come up with 5 points. This is going to help their portfolio moving up the standings, considering that without BRU and Twisted Minds in today's lobby, they are technically in first place.
Absolutely, but of course we've also stirred the hornet's nest. WAG is thoroughly pissed at this point of time, and they'll be looking to make a strong comeback at Purgatory. We'll have to see how that one goes. Wasp up against Attack All Around on the other hand does not look good for Wask, a team that is going to try their very best to stay away from all of these heated battles early game.
Yesterday they also had a pretty rough time with Big Boss being picked off. This is probably the time to retreat fully if you are Wask. You don't want to be a part of this. We've seen some pretty questionable moves from them where they took too much time to set up a play and then they ended up giving either their life to the blue zone or they ended up feeding points to other teams. But right now you're caught in such a rough spot. Attack All Around looking for them, even though they just went for the revive. There's a Pain Gaming behind them up north, so they might have to just fight their way out.
Leonimo down. Fantastic grenade by Cougar as always. On the hunt, WSK on the back foot, trying their best to get away, but Domin's back turned up against Jump God, who's inside. AC-80, fresh shot, second shot, good glue wall by Domin, just to keep himself alive for a few extra seconds. The rest of his team members, though, going to focus on the revival, and Domin is the one to hit it. Leonimo back in the play, and even if this does go south, WSK will have a little bit of a lifeline here to depend on.
Yeah, received some help from Pain Gaming as one of the Limit got picked off, so see, it seems like Attack All Around still don't want to slow down. Going to continue the pursuit. That nade almost took out Domin. The second one coming through. That one connects. Domin does get dropped, so it could be the green light for them to go for the push. Cougar actually secures the elimination. So Ali now has to fend for himself against 4 members of Attack All Around. That is lights out. Another nade from Cougar. That's 2 in a row.
Triple kill.
This guy.
Points for AAA.
He's just way too good, way too accurate. The final grenade in his pocket, and he uses it to his advantage. Fantastic. And of course, Limit helping him out as well with the secondary on top of the roof, pretty much getting the most damage in before Cougar wiped him out with the grenade. Pain Gaming, on the other hand, spotting out Attack All Around, who are busy with WASK, trying to sneak in a couple of shots. Now they take the roof on the right-hand side. This is the best position to take the attack on both WSK as well as Attack All Around.
Actually saw Fluxo in far as well. They made it to Mars Electric, but since the circle doesn't cover them, they might have to move earlier than expected. Good snipe from Motovia. And Peter just runs in with that shotgun, takes out Limit also. Attack All Around, caught off guard, completely blindsided. And that's a wipeout. Pain Gaming finds the whole team of AAA.
This is the desperate run from Pain Gaming, who are currently in the 14th spot. A great victory for them over Attack All Around, and they took advantage as the third party, not really interfering in the fight between WASK as well as Attack All Around too early, but there at the right moment. Attack All Around had just finished up all of their utilities, barely gathered up whatever they needed for another battle, and Pain Gaming just stopped by to take them out. Fluxo, on the other hand, potentially about to do the same to Pain Gaming, just like what they executed on Attack All Around. But of course, it is not going to be as easy as that. Bob's already with the electrotherapy, allowing him to be a monster up close and personal with the shotgun. Tatsuya Best around the corner, finding no connections just yet.
Sending Pain Gaming to the left side of the bunker, and Pain looking to back off as fast as possible. MT7 once more finding a good position on top of the roof already. Look at that. Pain Gaming, not sure if they noticed this though, because that is going to compromise where they are. Fluxo will pull away for now.
MT7 pretty much integral for the shutdown of WAG earlier on. Up on the roof, he had that full information of the movements of those players, and the communication is obviously strong on the side of Fluxo. They wiped out players of WAG way too swiftly, but now choosing to not get involved too heavily in that gunfight up against Pain Gaming, they slowly back away.
And Pain Gaming also able to retreat to peak as well. So then Fluxo, we said that since the circle doesn't cover Mars Electric, they will be forced to move early, and it's going exactly to plan, right? On the east side of Factory, that's where they will plant themselves in. See where this next circle brings us to though, because if Fluxo needs to continue moving, they might be forced into a situation where they just have to fight early, and that seems to be the case. On to the west side we go.
A little surprised with the lack of engagement between Fluxo and Pain Gaming, but we'll wait and see exactly what happens as both these teams look to travel through towards Bimasaki Strip in a little bit. CLG, on the other hand, outside the circle, trying to make a long rotation around and pretty much taking damage from the blue as they do that. The R1 is going to be scanning out the vending machine area first at Shipyard just to make sure they're not disturbed as they go in here to pick up a few extra loot. Nando X just beside him, Corinthians on for a full engagement up against CLG.
Oh, the timing just as the Dinoculus ran out. Corinthians showed up. So they were completely off the radar of CLG, but thankfully CLG had time to respond. The blue wants to block off that stairwell. Corinthians, they're going to take the initiative anyways. Floki, MVP, instantly gets dropped. CLG wants a response. FAQ can't find it. It's going to be Hak and Omala. 2 versus 1. A swing around the corner. Nando X takes that down. And it will be 2 more left for CLG. Corinthians coming in for the cleanup.
Yeah, talk about timing, man. CLG literally scanned the area. They knew nobody was there. But right as you said, the R1 scan running out. These boys from Corinthians showed up at the best timing possible. Now Joker will be able to find a knock, but a knock is all he gets as he gets the ground wiped with his face. Nike Boy with a shot from afar. 7 eliminations strong. Corinthians just a different sort of beast at the start of this Bermuda.
Yeah, different sort of beast in week number 2. Yesterday also had a great game. And now if Hak finds this shot, it is going to be lights out for CLG. And on the grace of the CLG members, Corinthians continuing to soar up the standings, and I don't think there's much room for this man to run to.
This might just be the end, and a good launch pad used here, and he should be able to get Nando X showing up right beside him. What a beautiful trace here. Nando X throws it in the hands of Dark, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it. CLG eliminated in 10th, and Nando X just with the extra teaser there.
Well, unfortunately, the launch pads are for communal use. You drop one there and everyone else can take a ride in it. And Dark just can't get away. 6K as well, trying to get out. Peter with the shot bat off the skies. And that's going to be the first point for Team Falcons. But they know where the rest of 6K are, so there's a chance that they go for the cleanup. A second one, attempting to escape. Dallas will be able to get away, but can't say the same for Nico.
Nike Boy taking a spot as the highest eliminator in the fight thus far, but 6K is Dallas. So no chance up against 4 players from the side of Bigatron Delta. They wiped him out pretty easily, but it took 4 of them to get that done swiftly. Unfortunate for 6 Karma.
Yeah, out of the frying pan into the fire, right into BTR's hands. And they're just taking their time chilling, you know, currently in 5th spot. We haven't really seen much of Evo's Divine until this point, but knowing how they usually approach being on the back foot, they probably would take a very safe approach this entire day. Play for placement first, elimination second, and it has been working out so far. But the problem is there's still 9 teams, including them, left, so there really isn't much placement points on the table yet.
WASK surviving the onslaught early on by attack all around, managing to get away. All thanks to a good revival and, of course, a little bit of an interference coming on through right after that Pain Gaming showed up in the most fantastic manner. Wiped the floor with attack all around. But now they've got a little bit of a bigger threat right in front of them. Corinthians were doing absolutely fine this week. will be looking to get into this next circle as well. Only one can potentially get on through, and Pain Gaming slowly but surely moving towards WASK as well. This spells trouble.
Seems to be their Arvon as well, right? Scanning there. I thought that they would just go straight into Catalyst. Well, what? That's the rotation WSK. They got funneled away by Corinthians into Pain Gaming. This could be a disaster. Corinthians realize what they have done. They're just going to back off. Let Pain Gaming be WSK's problem.
Oh my, and now more severe from afar, shutting down Omala. Beautiful M82B shot. And Pain Gaming slowly but surely walking away. They won the circle first. They know this next one is going to hurt a little bit too much. They want to get in there first and then gatekeep the players who are on the approach. WSK knows exactly what's happening now. They're trying to trail the players. Trying to toss a couple of grenades as well. Leo Nemo with the Trogon in hand, but will have to eat a huge grenade instead.
Oh, and the Riptide Rhythm breaks down all of their blue walls. Now they're exposed to the elements. And the bullets of Pain Gaming. Good name for big bars, but they need to do a lot more than just getting a knockdown. Pain Gaming stands back up. Motovia having the horizon line, and it will be a flat line for WASK.
Fine elimination, strong Pain Gaming on a different level this time around. Let's see if they can continue on in here. All the remaining squads in full utility. Everybody's still surviving. Okay, as I say, that 6 Karma loses yet another player. Igwin find the shot from afar with the VSK. Pain Gaming though, flirting with the circle. One player on the side of 6 Karma right behind them. Dallas is probably gonna have to fight the blue and bide his time here. Fingers crossed the man has got enough medkits to stay alive.
Well, unfortunately for Bad, bad news. He's down. So that's 10 points for Pain Gaming. Brazilians really off to a fantastic start. All 3 Brazilian teams in this lobby today still alive, and all of them close to either close to or already have double-digit elimination. The Corinthians with 8, Pain Gaming with 10. Fluxo got to deal with BTR.
MT7 trying to hold the flanking position on the left-hand side. Trying to make sure he's got enough room here as well as good line of sight onto Nems and Dix. Kyong slowly pushing on from that left-hand side, building up solid glue walls to make their rotation and looking for the circle. So brilliantly done by the Indonesian squad. Now Fluxo a little bit late to this party, but they'll have to start moving before Pain Gaming shows up. MT7 turns around and tries to secure one, but finds Dallas instead.
Ends up taking out 6 Karma of all teams. Very unfortunate, but Fluxo might have to pick a poison. The Corinthians now run into Evil's Divine, who have been playing safe the entire day, the entire round at least. They just want to get the placement points to secure a good spot in top 12, but the Corinthians will not make it easy. In fact, E1 shows up, Bara goes down. Both of these teams working together unintentionally to take out Evil's Divine.
Oh, grenade after grenade. He was Divine desperately trying to hold on, but it's just not possible. Nando X now secures a good knock, takes him out with a follow-up grenade. Yet another player alive and kicking up there, but he was Divine cannot survive the barrage of grenades brought on by these 2 squads. Corinthians as well now on 10 eliminations.
And we just witnessed tragedy for Evil's Divine. None of their efforts paid off in this round. They just wanted to play safe, but the circle brought disaster all the way to the doorstep. Pain Gaming wants this compound, but it will not be easy with the Corinthians set up onto the balcony as well. Blue Zone closing in. Pain Gaming will have to push.
That's exactly how the West started off last week as well. Very strong, and then it turned out to be a tad bit of disappointment. If this can continue throughout the whole day, though, pretty sure LATAM as well as Brazil will be in absolute celebration. Now, Noda down on the ground. The ice grenade is going to tag them up just a tad bit. They toss out a white grenade, though, which is going to find E1's blue walls instead. And now Peter is shut down from the back, at least close to it. Nando X showing up at the wrong time! And Noda getting away. One more shot will be able to secure this, but Slippery, he gets away in the nick of time.
And Nando X fell off the stairs.
Oh,
go for that. Grand Theft Auto into the monster truck, and Noda will get away, but that Riptide Rhythm is gonna sign his death sentence. Good attempt, but not enough. And just like that, Pain Gaming will be wiped out.
I mean, good survival skills there by Noda, but just didn't have the backup enough on his side to take the gunfight. Now, one final team from the East standing in here. Benetron Delta, 3-man strong, but they have to deal with the firepower of both E1 as well. Oh, 2 teams. Falcons from them. I did not even see them. They've stayed quiet throughout this whole match.
I mean, Corinthians are going to even out the board, right? By taking out one of their own from the West. As Fluxo got completely backstab, so they hit the compound with the Falcons, but Falcons might have just walked into a sniper's nest set up to take them out by the Corinthians.
Falcons down in the dumps technically. The team that's currently in the 12th spot surely is desperately trying to climb up the leaderboard now, allowing Corinthians to get the job done up against E1 Sports. E1 Sports don't want any bit of this fight just yet, barricading themselves inside of this house, hoping and praying the final spot of this circle is going to end up on their side so that they can play the medkit game.
So much blue water expended. The final circle, it might just end at the corner of one of these houses. E1, they just want to hold on to this spot for as long as possible. Like you said, even committing the Steffi to block out all these utilities. But if you're Corinthians, you just wait outside because these teams eventually will have to gather at the center.
Absolutely, Falcons on the hunt from outside, on fire, trying to wait and see if or not Dix will show up. The man's already on his medkit game. That's just not going to work out. Megatron Delta will fall right here, right now. As Bitten takes on fire. My goodness me, with the grenade launcher, knocks it down onto the ground. But he's saved by the Roro in the time.
They don't know where Corinthians is, do they? I think Peter had an inkling. He smelled something in the air. Look at that blue wall put up, because if Peter goes down, Corinthians will have a dang good chance of winning this. They even go out into the blue zone to attempt to snipe the members of Falcons and realize that it's a futile attempt. So now E1 have plenty of space to work with.
Falcons, though, might just end up in the middle of this circle. Now E1 just focusing on Corinthians. Beautiful snipe coming on through. It is the AWM on the play, but the pickup is strong. Bitten just not able to secure that for the squad. And now Corinthians knocking on the doors of E1 4.
Yeah, they're just constantly barricading this entrance with blue walls. Corinthians, they want to barge in, but they cannot break the defense down. Now having to use their own blue walls as E1 goes on the offensive, and now it's pandemonium. Nando and Purgatory instantly goes wide, and look at Falcons coming in with the rundown, absolutely driving by everyone from E1 and Corinthians. Falcons waited for the perfect moment. Swoop in for the elimination, and there's nothing that E1 can do. Peter with a sprayed out Bitten playing around the circle of power, puts up the blue wall, but Falcons are just too strong. They waited just enough to keep Falcons with a booyah in game 1.
The champions of the esports world just got their first booyah of the knockout stage. My goodness me, if that's a good day to make a comeback, today is the day, the final week of play, of course, for the squad, but it is the first of 2 days of play. Falcons can play 6 games today and another 6 tomorrow. So if they're starting off hot on day number 5, there's good things coming the way of this squad, but can they maintain the consistency which they have just not shown throughout the first week here?
The fact that this is just one of the, I thought they would have more than just one booyahs in this knockout stage, but the fact that they are able to start off strong is a good sign, right? They very opportunistic, waited for chaos to break out and completely took advantage of pandemonium. So good start for Team Falcons, but I want to hear the boys from Team Falcons have to tell us about that win.
Primeiro buia tailandês por aqui, mas o primeiro buia da Team Falcons na competição. Então vamos trocar uma ideia com o Peter. Eles que são os campeões da Copa do Mundo de Esportes começaram um pouquinho devagar. Vamos entender o que está acontecendo. Please, Yusu.
Yes, and this is the first booyah, a very first booyah of Team Falcons. So congratulations. So Peter, for the last almost 2 weeks, I want to ask, like, is there anything happened with our team? Because, you know, the championship, you know, it's a heavy as a crown, you know? So, like, can I ask what happened and why does it take so long that you can have the booyah until this time?
ถามว่าเนื่องจากว่าครั้งนี้เป็นบูย่าครั้งแรกของเราแล้วก็เริ่มต้นในสัปดาห์ที่2สัปดาห์ที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยเกิดอะไรขึ้นทำไมแบบเราถึงไม่ได้บูย่าเลย
ก็สัปดาห์แรกเรายังไม่ชินกับเวลาที่ต้องแข่งครับเพราะว่าที่ไทยเราไม่ได้แข่งเวลานี้ครับมันต้องตื่นเช้าแล้วก็ต้องปรับตัวหลายๆอย่างด้วยครับเลยยังไม่ชินเท่าไหร่ครับ
So it's because we have to adjust for the time zone. Like when we have to play at this competition, it's quite early in the morning. But when we do the competition in other countries, it's like past afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like still a lot for them to adjust.
Jet lag problems, maybe.
Yeah, kind of.
Ok. A primeira pergunta da Yusu foi perguntando o que aconteceu com eles de fato aqui, já que eles são um dos times tailandeses também, um dos maiores times tailandeses. E se ele consegue identificar quais foram os problemas. A resposta dele foi justamente sobre a adaptação. Eles demoraram um pouco para se adaptar por aqui, principalmente na questão do tempo, né? Ele justificou que às vezes tipo assim, o jet lag pega um pouco eles, porque eles têm que jogar aqui de manhã e lá no país deles já é de noite, então eles estavam com esse problema de adaptação. Okay, so since this is the last weekend of the knockout stage, I would like to know if they can identify who is their biggest enemy here.
จากนี้เป็นสัปดาห์สุดท้ายของรอบน็อกเอาท์สเตจแล้วมีทีมไหนไหมที่เรารู้สึกว่าเป็นแบบคู่แข่งที่สำคัญที่สุดของเรา
ก็น่าจะบุรีรัมย์แหละครับเขาก็เต็งแชมป์ทุกรายการอยู่แล้วครับทุกคนก็น่าจะรู้กันอยู่นะ
Probably Buriram United Esport because like everybody know like they are away got the highest chance to win so no need to talk much.
So tomorrow they will play against Buriram. Are they having any plans to take points out of Buriram's hands?
พรุ่งนี้เราต้องเจอกับบุรีรัมย์แล้วก็คิดว่ามีวิธีหรือแผนการวางไว้ที่จะเอาแต้มจากเขามาไหม
ก็เรากับบุรีรัมย์ก็ไม่ได้เจอกันง่ายๆอยู่แล้วครับเพราะว่าเราเล่นกันคนละลายอยู่แล้วครับแล้วก็มีวิธีเอาคะแนนของเราอยู่แล้ว
It's like no need to take the point from Buriram because their plan for Team Falcon and Buriram is like not in the same path.
Oh, okay.
They have their own way to take the point.
Okay, perfect. Maybe for the next stage. A minha pergunta para ele foi, já que esse é o último final de semana da fase classificatória, se ele consegue dizer qual que é o maior inimigo deles aqui. E ele citou, de fato, o time tailandês da Buriram, que se torna também um dos maiores inimigos dos outros times. E aí eu falei, amanhã você joga contra a Buriram, será que vocês estão planejando tirar alguns pontos? Mesmo que a gente saiba que essa só é a fase classificatória. Ele falou assim que não está se preocupando em tirar pontos da Buriram, pelo menos agora, porque eles não se encontram no mesmo nível, pelo menos, né? Então a Team Falcons vai continuar fazendo aqui o jogo deles. Mas é isso, minha família, entrevistinha já rendeu por aqui, quero saber se vocês estão gostando, participa do nosso chat e vamos de melhores momentos nesse momento.
Yes, and that is the first Booyah for Team Falcons, and congratulations again. This is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for watching. And now let's head back to our caster and watch the highlights.
Falcons with the first Booyah ever in the knockout stage. Pretty surprising that that line is a legitimate line in the FFWS Global, but still, what a start for them to get off to a good momentum, especially this is their first game of the Week 2 knockouts.
And they successfully become the best team on Bermuda when you compare Groups B and C. That is fantastic for Team Falcons from out of nowhere, just like what they did in this matchup, right? Staying silent throughout the whole time, fooling all of us, making us think that it's all about LATAM, it's all about Brazil, and then boom, they walk in there, they take a good opportunity to sweep the Booyah away from the rest of them. A little surprising, but that's exactly how the cookie crumbles here at the global finals. It's the final opportunity for the teams in Group B, but the ones taking great advantage here seems to be the teams from Group C. The only one, though, to kind of hop on in there and make a little bit of difference apart from them, from Falcons, of course, from the East was Purgatory Delta, but that didn't really last too long.
Very unfortunate for Purgatory Delta. They were caught between a rock and three different teams, but credit where credit is due. I think E1 did pretty well getting into top 2. Corinthians having a massive round despite not getting the Booyah. I think they've got more than enough points to make up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Corinthians earlier on securing a massive number of eliminations. Would not be surprised if they overtake Falcons, the overall number of points picked up, but we'll have to take a check on that shortly. Kororo securing 6 eliminations and 1 with style as well as he picked up the monster truck, knocking the player out of the play area. 2,205 damage, 4 assists. This man was a little bit of a menace to deal with out there.
Yeah, Kororo, when he kind of joined in the Team Falcons, it kind of was a replacement to Cosq, right? He brings in a different role, instead of the Grenadier, he is the Rifler. So people were questioning how is this going to change the dynamics, but overall, seems like he's coming in pretty well. More firepower for Team Falcons who already are playing aggressive is always great.
And of course, it is no surprise whatsoever to see each and every single player kind of throwing in their own fair share of effort. But of course, on fire, a little bit more efficient with the 839 damage and the 2 eliminations. They had 3 assists to his name as well, doing more than enough for the squad. The key players here on this matchup, Nike Boy with 7 eliminations strong. Superb play by him. And of course, the most damage out there on the battlefield as well. And on fire gets his own highlight with the 8 massive assists.
Yeah, most of it came from the final sequence where completely caught E1 and Corinthians off guard, but still elim leaders, right? You got Nike Boy, you got Kororo, and then the rest are from Brazil. Nando X, MT7, Motovia. Again, the Brazilian team's having a field day in this round one.
Absolutely, and fantastically played by all of them. Quite a number of points picked up by Corinthians. Up for Pain Gaming, E1 as well as Fluxo. On the other hand, not as much, but just enough to continue bringing on the storm. If Brazil can't keep this up, then it is just a matter of time before they overtake the rest of the teams. Two Brazilian squads are still down in the bottom six. That's Pain Gaming as well as E1. So it's a fantastic start for both of them.
Yeah, and of course, if you are Pain Gaming or E1, at least you have tomorrow left to play, right? So today is to set up a good foundation, and tomorrow you go for that final push. But pretty rare to see that, you know, after Team Falcons, it's all 4 Brazilian teams. Again, yesterday I thought that I questioned whether they can be consistent, at least for Fluxo and Corinthians. They show me that so far they are doing pretty well.
I am a little surprised though to see Fluxo not in that final circle, not fighting for that booyah, because they were surely on that upward climb. MT7 has been looking pretty dangerous out there on the battlefield, but they just can't seem to make those final circle plays as consistent as we want to see it come through from them, which is going to be a little worrying for their fight to become the world champions.
Yeah, I mean, they did get taken out by Corinthians, right? Their back was completely exposed in that, close to that final sequence. But overall, I think Fluxo, they also got some pretty decent points at the very start by wiping out WAG and getting a couple of pickouts on Evo's Divine, and then I believe on the 6K also. Pretty decent points. I think just looking at the standings, they are definitely going to make it to play. Anyways, is to see whether they can keep that position. But of course, we are gonna get ready, so strap in, because coming up is Purgatory.
Kaspersky's now in Free Fire. Get Kaspersky Plus and score an exclusive skin. With the most powerful antivirus, plus tools like unlimited VPN, gamer mode, and a password manager, you'll secure that booyah in style. Don't sleep on this. Keep your devices safe and play safe with Kaspersky.
And of course, Purgatory, we are going to be looking for the Brazilians to make a big play here. Corinthians, they surely came close. A1 as well. E1 just not as aggressive with the eliminations. They got the 9 points from the placements, but only 5 elimination points this time round. If they do want to surely climb up that leaderboard, they need to ramp it up a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely need to, right? Without BRU, WAG is the team to look out for. Is the fact that RQ Kazu is also not here. So let's see, WAG can make a comeback after that game 1.
Absolutely. And of course, top 3 teams on Purgatory. Megatron, Delta, Corinthians, as well as CLG. We need to keep an eye out for them as well.
Bora decolar, Phil. Vamos para nossa próxima partida, que é Purgatory, Yansu.
Yes, and to our second map is Purgatory, and finally we can see the king. Team Falcon is back with their booyah, but now in the second match it's all different. Who will get the booyah? Let's sit down and watch it with us, you guys.
Bora decolar porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
Brazilians came out to a fantastic start, guns blazing. Let's see if they can continue that on round number 2 as we head into Purgatory. The map is bigger, vehicles are a lot more important, and rotations early on matters even more, especially for teams that want to play slow. And take a look at the flight path first, because yesterday we got a pretty stingy one, but today, thankfully, we're blessed with a very balanced one.
Usually it's Group A that dominates Purgatory. Thank goodness they're not here to mess around with these other squads. Bigatron Delta is the one leading Group B with the most number of points picked up on this map thus far with a total of 53 and their usual drop spot at 4th. But the ones we want to focus on is going to be Pain Gaming as well as CLG. Now this has to be a fight that CLG wins out here because they came close but a little unfortunate of an end earlier on.
They win this, it would be great for CLG, but painful for Pain Gaming, ironically. See this mode house, it's a very small space, and CLG on the offense. Pain Gaming needs to respond to this as fast as they can because they don't feel ready as the 6k eliminated off screen already. Pain Gaming losing 2 can be 3 if Ghost doesn't land his shot, and the spray down just not good enough. CLG coming in, just absolutely blazing through the competition. They will lose 1, but it should be it. Pain Gaming follows E1, he follows 6k out back into the lobby.
This might just be the fastest elimination of 3 squads we have seen thus far in the knockout stage. FAQ7's the only one keeping that record from being made here. He runs away, gets to the vending machine. No 3-team elimination. He secures that for the squad. CLG actually survives this. His WAG goes a little crazy.
Could have been a full disaster. If they can pick Floki back up, would be nice. While Pretty shoots him down again. Very unfortunate. So FAQ to put up a slash there, but X4 comes in from the side. And I mean, the WAG finding 4 points just to make up for what they lost in game 1.
This is exactly what we were talking about. They stirred the hornet's nest and WAG was just not gonna have that. This time around, they stormed the front. It wasn't Fluxo though. They will surely be looking for them a little bit later on. For now, home house belongs to WAG. Kyong up against the boys, and Wasp will find a little bit of a comeback here, only to be saved here by Dix, who gets the spray. WSK's Mr. Ali gets the revives for the squad to keep them alive.
Yeah, not even part of the fight to begin with, right? He already made it, already ran away as soon as he realized that it was unwinnable. So what stays alive? On the other end, you got the Corinthians about to run into attack all around once more.
Let's see if another Omala can keep this electrotherapy up and strong here between himself as well as Hack as they slowly but surely approach compound of attack all around. Vending machine in the area as well. If in any case a fight does go south for the squad, Corinthians, team that did pretty well, in fact very well in the previous game. They do not want to drop that momentum, just like what Pain Gaming has done here at Purgatory. Limit up on the roof with the VSK. They know they are being approached by a squad, and Corinthians actually doesn't want to stop by the play. Arvon scans out 3 players, attack all around, wants a fight, but Corinthians, they say no, not just yet.
Very, very good move from Corinthians to back off. So that utility sure used by attack all around, but now it will go on cooldown as the Corinthians completely dodged the bullet, deciding that there's no need to rush for now. It's still the first 5 minutes of the game. Plenty of real estate to work with. They can just go the other way and find an easier path into the circle.
See if E1 can find the elimination onto Evo's Divine here. A team that is definitely struggling. But they might just be third-partied in a little bit. So if either one of these two wants to take on a fight, they have to get it done quickly, swiftly, right here, right now. Attack all around is just in the area waiting to drop by as well. But here's a quick replay of that engagement earlier on as Evo's Divine found a couple of plays from E1.
Yeah, they did. And it's not over yet because E1 now stands in front of them once more. They didn't really get much time to recuperate as House Ever just got sniped down. So that's 5 points for Evo's Divine. Could have asked for a better start. G'day is going to get pressured by E1. But on the roof, E1 doesn't have the utilities to force him away. Shot down low. Vitin somehow gets the shot in, but instantly traded by Evo's Divine.
Yeah, beautiful comeback here by Evo's Divine. Bara up close and personal. Get the job done. But E1's already have got all of their players back on that revive now with 1 more taken away. They've got 3 more on the battlefield. But they slowly but surely making its way back in here. That revive, all thanks to Bara. And it looks like E1 might just lose a couple of more players. Bara on for the push. Drogon in hand, looking for a player. Vitin meets him halfway, but backs away towards the crosshairs of Ray. Instead, Vitin tagged up from the back. Igwin down at the bottom. Bara can't find anyone just yet. Goes in for Vitin instead. Looks for the backstab and finds it.
very straightforward move from EVOS Divine. They know that they have the numbers, they know that they got the weaponry. E1 just stood no chance. A wipeout, that's 4 teams eliminated from the lobby in the first 6 minutes of the game. EVOS Divine finds 8 points.
This is what we were looking for out of EVOS Divine at Bermuda. We could not get that. They only delivered 4 points, all of them coming through from placements. Not a single elimination in the previous game, but this time a different form. But Corinthians, they want to crash this party and crash the hopes of EVOS Divine right here, right now. They've got the launch pad, and they know exactly where these boys are going. A double launch pad used here. Bara out of the play area, tagged up from the back, but manages to survive. Omala, do they go in for the pursuit? They say no. Corinthians, they want to loot up the area first before getting involved in another fight.
Yes, safe by the fauna, safe by the flora of Bermuda. All that tree and branches block the line of sight, and Corinthians is displaying so much discipline, right? Deciding to not chase and just bide their time, completely understanding that there's no urgency for them to make these big plays because their position in the leaderboard is not really at risk. With BTR showing up, this could be a fight that Corinthians cannot avoid.
Bigatron Delta scanning the wrong area here. Yeah, binoculars. Corinthians right in front of them, but it's a smart scan from Bigatron Delta just to make sure they don't get flanked out if they do go in here for the push. The Corinthians slowly backing away from this engagement. They know they've got the circle. They don't really need to travel too far away. As long as they don't get involved in this next engagement, they're going to be happy. But instead, they actually take a circle around towards the assault bunker. They want to beef themselves up before hopping on into another battle. This is an interesting one coming through from Bigatron Delta because they're dropping back as well. They really want this fight up against the players of Corinthians.
Yeah, it's so convenient, right? You got revival points, you got vending machine at the ski lodge, which is still part of the, or still pretty near the safe zone for now. Even using the monster truck, that's going to be a full family trip all the way to that eastern side of the map. BTR also buys distance, and to be very honest, again, they don't need to rush too much. It comes down to where the next circle is. In fact, BTR decides to go even further, and this might put them too close to EVOS.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing? EVOS Divine, they are heated. They've got enough loots here after looting up 8 players. They shut down the spot. Bara turns his back at the wrong time. Kyung won't get the knock, but it's Sticks that gets the headshot. But this teamwork is just too solid now. Bigatron Delta, they've got 1 out of 4 already. Ray a little bit too far down in the assault bunker. He is going to be all covered. A-backs on the left-hand side. The players on the side of EVOS Divine, too scattered to take a good fight.
You can't even get mad at that, right? Like, who would make that rotation? If you're EVOS Divine, you would not expect a team to come to you from the northern side at this timing. So EVOS Divine, they somehow need to survive this because BTR will not be moving anytime soon. Same for WAS, they gotta fight their way out of this because them and Falcons are both baiting in the blue.
But how much damage can WAS get in here before they get stung out of this match as well? Or can they actually run away? Peter on pursuit with the Trogon in hand, just hopping over those containers, trying to get a spot on those players. The Roro grenade is going to go wide, not tagging up any of those players. Leonemo backs away. Fluxo on the approach from the back as well. This is about to turn into a party.
About to be very ugly. WASK, they're going to take the chance to get away if they can, because now Falcons will be Fluxo's problem. Fluxo, off the momentum from last game, is going to try and push in. The Falcons, they don't want to be a part of this. They're going to be like, you will handle this mess. So now WAS, they're going to be left out to dry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And of course, with that knock coming on through, Peter actually gets knocked down to the ground as well. EVOS Divine just welcoming Falcons with open arms on the other side. Wask on the other hand losing big box. Dorman goes down as well. Ali sprayed down. Leonemo, the final player. Can he hit a revive? I don't think at this point of time anything's going to be possible for him anymore. He's just going to try and bide his time, hide away. And they actually think that EVOS Divine player is the final remaining player of WSK. Leonemo is going to survive this.
No way! Bara is gonna go down, and then Fluxo realize there's no wipeout, but they would just assume that a revival has happened.
Oh my.
Wow.
What a lucky day for WAS. They still survive.
Well, wish upon a shooting star for sure. Leonemo really breathing a sigh of relief, and the best part is the vehicle is still there. It's not blown up just yet, so he can use it if he wants to. I was about to say that Mr. Ali attempting to drive away in a firefight is insanity, but Leonemo might have just been the lifeline for the team.
My goodness. And Falcons, on the other hand, found that cool recovery for themselves. with the survival coming on.
Triple kill.
Fine, loses Ray, all thanks to Bob. Long shots coming on through. And they continue their movement in towards this next circle. On their right-hand side, they've got EVOS Divine to worry about. On the left, they've got attack all around. But thankfully, neither one of these squads making their move into that circle just yet. So Fluxo has got a clear route in.
Oh no, Leonimo, he started driving, but he drove the wrong direction. He went east side, and that's the most populated area. He's about to drive into BTR and Falcons with a burning vehicle.
Can't tank this damage for the time being. But the man's broke. Even if he gets to a vending machine, he can't revive anyone just yet. He's going to try to maneuver around looking for some coins, but it's going to be quite the journey for him. WAG trying their best to avoid a confrontation with Corinthians, but does this put them up to a couple of shots being absorbed here by the Corinthians? They can't really take a long flank around, but they could drop by that airdrop to see if or not they can pull out some good stuff to take a stronger fight against this Brazilian squad.
Yeah, WAG is moving, they're moving so quickly, but on the other end, it's going to be Fluxo and attack all around, and once more, attack all around. Needs to not be ready. Kuga has a grenade launcher, but it's not landing the grenades. That's not good news. Dual melt has come out, Bob with the Trogon over the top. That's a 3-pointer right there, as offstream Quinn blows himself up. As Corinthians now take on WAG, but attack all around. The jump got retreating. It's going to be a re-engage from the side. Pun got onto Bob's Cougar on his own chase as well, trying to look for GU. Just couldn't find him. Fluxo trying to disengage, but losing puts it in the progress. Maybe attack all around has found the weak point.
Oh, MT7, fantastic shot, and the follow-up is there, strong by Bob. Spoon got out of the equation. WAG snuffed out as well off screen. That's a little bit amazing coming through from Fluxo, but they survive only up until MT7 just got slashed out. Now Gio and Bob desperately trying to hold on here. The players from the side of EVOS Divine just could not interfere and attack all around, takes a quick snipe and then gets into the circle just to gatekeep Fluxo as they try to make their way in.
Man, attack all around, making almost a crucial mistake, trying to go for the execution in the open and ended up trading one. But now they're on the back foot. Maybe Falcons can be the salvation for attack all around as they are just shooting at GU from this arsenal. It seems like it's not going to stop him too much though. They are still looking for Limit, final member of attack all around.
Limit at his limit, already absorbing all of those grenades. Not too good for business. PSK in hand. Bobs with the Trogon. Bobs just has the better gun at a range like this. M82B not going to help the man at all. Shows his back and Bobs takes advantage. Limit down. Attack all around out.
Corinthians, who just finished that fight with WAG, now taste the bullets of Fluxo, who have 9 elimination. But Corinthians, they gotta deal with EVOS Divine, well, just the one last member of EVOS Divine in front of them, and then Fluxo, who are also not in the best condition.
So, they bowed out with just 14 points in Bermuda. Obviously looking for more this time around, but up against Corinthians, this is going to be very dangerous. Thankfully, Corinthians a little busy with the players on the side.
They don't see him?
Ray has not
Nike
been
boy?
out just yet, but it's just a matter of time, right?
Nike boy? Hello? No way!
Wait! He finally This took him long enough.
Oh, that would be funny if Ray and taking them out, but yeah, Corinthians, they're gonna keep on shooting people, and now Falcons on their radar. This is revenge for last round. Team Falcons basically down in the dust. And out of the top 4 teams, only Corinthians have the full squad left.
Well, thankfully, the Brazilians are back in it once again. Corinthians looking for a back-to-back solid play coming through from the day. If they can actually walk away with the booyah, they are for sure the strongest team of the day, technically through points. Fluxo, on the other hand, surviving with just 2 players, Bobs and GU. The revival's just not going to be possible. No vending machines in the area. UAV taken out of the skies. Nike Boy shuts down Peter. Falcons with their final survivor left in Kororo.
And Corinthians are having a field day so far. Kororo, not sure what else he can do. You can see that boss gets sniped by Nike Boy from afar. And this is most likely going to be around for Corinthians. GU picks him back up, but there is just nothing that Falcons nor Fluxo can do.
Corinthians 24 points over at Bermuda. And they obviously want to outshine themselves right here, right now. 58% potential win rate coming through for the Brazilian squad. Fluxo just does not have enough members to take them down. Hack on the right-hand side flank. The Bison in Gio's hands can't do much with it. And Hack with a beautiful grenade lob towards Bobs as well. Now they're on the hunt. Kuroro, the final player, 1v4. It's a no game for you, sir. They go in for the shutdown, but with the monster
the car!
drive away, Kuroro has got a little bit of body. Nando X outside. And Hack gets the final snipe for Corinthians to walk away with the booyah at Purgatory.
That's payback for Bermuda, baby, as Nandowork jumps into the passenger seat and calls shotgun on that getaway drive by Kuroro, giving live feed information to his team, because we all know that Corinthians are going to win the moment we saw that first eye view. This is just an amazing showing from the Brazilians. Corinthians really coming alive in week number 2.
Consistency is surely key, and they are most definitely getting the job done here. Their second booyah of the knockout stage, and with this win, they have pushed themselves into the top 5, overtaking WAG for sure. Based on where they were with the overall points earlier on, this surely is a great play from them, and WAG hasn't shown up just yet, but of course, let's hear what the winners have to say about their fantastic victory.
Aqui, vem comigo, Nike Boy. Salve o Corinthians! Não tem jeito aqui, ó. É Corinthians, meus amigos. Primeiro buiazão brasileiro por aqui. Pode comemorar a galera aí de casa. Vamos de perguntinha agora pro Nike Boy. Yusu, please.
Thank you, Carol. So congratulations, Corinthians, and also say hello to our boy, Naki Boy. Then I had a question that since today we have 4 Brazil team, and do you feel any pressures, or you feel the intensify from everywhere, since there's only 4 Brazil team, but you have to play with all of the 3 regions?
Ok. A primeira pergunta dela é, já que hoje tem 4 times brasileiros, você se sente pressionado porque tem times brasileiros jogando, ou a pressão é igual para todas as regiões?
Eu acredito que é igual para todas as regiões, não tem pressão não. E é isso, de boa.
He doesn't feel any pressure. He feels like it's the same. It doesn't matter if Brazilian teams or any other region teams. He just feel like it's the same game.
Yes.
Even the gameplay is all like completely different?
Mesmo que o jogo seja diferente de região para região?
Cara, a gente é um pouco complicado, porque querendo ou não, são mais times de fora, né? Então a gente meio que tem que se adaptar a eles. Mas a gente vem trabalhando bastante e não tá sendo... Foi uma dificuldade no começo, né? A gente tá conseguindo se impor mais agora com o estilo de jogo mais avançado e tal, e tá dando super certo.
Okay, it's a bit complicated because they need to adapt themselves to the other regions' game styles, but he feels like can be the same, and he knows he's aware that Brazilians are is not in more numbers than Asian regions.
Yeah.
So that's okay, but he tried to adapt himself to the Asian style.
That's good.
Okay. Our last question is, do you feel the weight of Corinthians jersey? Is the pressure to represent the team who were the world champions back in 2019 make you guys feel any pressure?
Oh my God, traduz isso aí que eu não entendo. Calma,
Seguinte,
gente.
você sente o peso da camisa corintiana pelo fato do Corinthians ter sido campeão em 2019? Isso traz algum tipo de pressão pra vocês?
Cara, eu acho que pressão não, mas representar um time como o Corinthians, que é o time do povo, é algo surreal. Então, querendo ou não, tem aquela cobrança da torcida, mas é algo que é adaptável, é tranquilo.
Okay, so he feels a little bit of pressure. He knows like the fans of Corinthians will ask them to have a good development here in the competition, but he still loves to play for Corinthians.
Yeah. I understand.
Vamos então de melhores momentos, minha família. Vamos mandar um beijo pra nossa torcida corintiana lá?
Valeu, torcida.
Pô, a gente tá esperando vocês aqui, viu? No dia 24.
Vambora.
Vamos de melhores momentos.
Bora.
And our second booyah belongs to Corinthians, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
This is the end of our interview, and now let's head back to the caster and see the highlights.
Humble answers. They are a little nervous, but of course they are doing their very best out there, and everything seems to be going their way here on the second week. Corinthians on their second booyah already throughout the knockout stage, and once again they're making a mad dash for the top, surely to be one of the teams to qualify for the final week representing Brazil.
I'd be nervous if I'm back on the international stage after like what seems to be almost 3 full years of absence. And even longer than that since their very first win as an org, right? But completely new face, but being able to put up a performance up against kind of the new generation, I think this is very, very impressive. I think I'm already looking forward to Corinthians being in Point Rush and then inevitably the Grand Finals.
Yeah, most definitely, right? And obviously, if they can keep this sort of a pacing up, they should be able to make quite a bit of name for themselves at the finals. Corinthians, this was just an aggressive game for them and everything went their way. Even Fluxo stood no chance up against them in that final sequence. Granted, they were low in numbers. Kororo could not do much, but it was all about the supremacy of their positioning approaching this final circle. They were not taking a slow game at all, and now they dominate the top of the leaderboard with the most number of points picked up in the day.
Even when you look back at the records of kind of the players on the teams, Nando X only joined the team towards the end of July, right? So you got less than 4 months to prep for a World Series, and even before that, you got to play in your own local league to qualify. But MVP in this game is going to be Hak with the Cassie on the supportive role. That electrotherapy is again way too valuable to pass up. Most teams go for it. When you go for that double up, it's very hard for teams to kind of fight you 1v1.
And the third seed out of Brazil seems to be the best seed thus far, representing them today. And if they can keep this up, I'm pretty sure they are going to be making a lot of noise in the grand finals, in the final week in itself. You are doing it in front of a home crowd, so that home crowd buff surely will bring them quite the distance. 9 eliminations just between Nando X as well as Hak. You've got Omala and Nike Boy walking in here with 4 to their side for a total of 13 eliminations. And of course, the 12 coming through from the Booyah is going to be decent enough to keep them on a all-time high as far as points are concerned.
Oh yeah, and of course this is, I mean, you have to earn your spot in the top 12, right? We are currently at the Rio Central Convention just for the knockout stage, but we're heading over to Carioca Arena for the final showdown. So if you earn that spot, I mean, that's where the fans are going to come into play. It will be a fairy tale for a Brazilian team to win, and it will be even more of a fairy tale if Corinthians are the one that win it on home soil.
Yeah, I mean, Corinthians, last week, they didn't really do their very best, gathering a total of 103 points with a single Booyah to their name over 2 days of play. This week, though, they are on a much better roll. They're not even done with the day yet. Thus far, they've picked up a total of 111 points. So that's solid for them. We have got 4 more games to go. If Corinthians can keep this up, they surely will be able to make their numbers look a little bit more solid to be convincing for the final week's battle. Now they're just behind Fluxo on the overall leaderboard, but still quite a distance to catch up with their Brazilian brothers. A total of 45 points away for the third spot to swipe it away from Fluxo.
Yeah, and if they can do that, it would be kind of a minor shake-up overall. I mean, Fluxo still are in a pretty good spot, but I wouldn't be surprised that Corinthians are catching up so fast, right? You look at the first 2 rounds, Corinthians have overall better performance than Fluxo, not by a long shot, but definitely inching closer and closer to closing that gap. And if they end of the day, they can overtake Twisted Minds in the next 2 rounds and put themselves ahead by a couple of points, this could set the Corinthians up for massive success when we kind of close out the knockout stage.
WAG, the team that currently holds the biggest record for 1 game's solid points, a total of 34, has been struggling throughout the day here, only gathering a total of 7 points from the first 2 games, and all 7 points came from Purgatory. So if they want to make their way up, now's a good time to start waking up. But of course, the highlights is going to be all out Brazil this time round. 6 eliminations for Bobs with a total of 2,939 damage. And of course, Nike Boy with his own assist highlight, a total of 6 for him.
Oh yeah. Against the Brazilians on top, of course, we got Bara and Kuga in the conversation. In game 1, both Evos Divine attack all around, didn't really get to do too much. They did better in game 2 for sure, although if you're Evos Divine, you really wish that they could have gone further, right? Like, they ended up with 18 points in 2 rounds. That is just not enough.
Not enough at all. And like I said, Corinthians right up top with the most number of points collected, a total of 49, followed by Falcons. A tad bit surprising for sure, as they showed up out of nowhere in Bermuda, but of course a little bit more consistent in Purgatory, but just could not keep up for that fight for the Booyah, as they were low in numbers, and Corinthians managed to execute that fantastic revenge for what they did to them in Bermuda. But Fluxo, a little bit on the consistency side this time around to find that final circle, but just can't cut it just yet. The team with the lowest number of Booyahs in the top 5.
Yeah, look at this, right? Like Fluxo overall, like as much as we say that the performance has been, kind of in the middle of the pack, they are pretty consistent with getting that placement points in, which is probably the biggest difference maker between them and everyone else. Even the Corinthians probably going to catch up in terms of by overtaking them in terms of eliminations or true elimination points. So good on Fluxo for that. They've definitely found a formula to kind of make use of that mid to late game rotation, but it's also good to see them in action in that early to mid game, willing to take on fights.
Yeah, most definitely, right? I think a little bit more aggression from the Corinthians was most desperately needed here in this week 2, and they're bringing out the exact version of themselves that we have been looking for. Week 1 was a tad bit of a disappointment. I expected more from them, but they are showing us, and they're living up to that expectation here in week 2. Love their gameplay thus far throughout the day. We look for the consistency. They're showing us that they can be consistent both in terms of hunting down that final circle, as well as picking up the body count as they move on in towards that final circle as well. Overall, Brazil has actually been doing pretty fairly well thus far without WAG in their sides.
Yeah, I would say this is probably one of the better showings from Brazil as a region in quite a while, at least in the before Magic Squad won the trophy last year, right? And even then it was sort of like Magic Squad doing the best, and then we had like other Brazilian Latin teams not really matching up. But this one looks like them as a region definitely has been evolving, but I do want to see them carry this forward. If we can have majority, more than half of the Brazilian teams make it to top 12, it would be crazy itself. But of course, game 3 coming up, so we'll get ready and jump into that in a bit.
It's gonna be pretty interesting to see what Brazil does here at Alpine shortly, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is not really the best map for Brazil. Fluxo has been the best thus far out there, picking up a total of 37 points across 3 games played. And like you see in front of you, the ones that usually dominate would be WAG, as well as the 2 teams that are on top of the table overall from Thailand.
Yep. And to see if WAG can continue dominance, right? Slowly on the road to recovery, this is another chance for them to show what they're made of.
Bora decolar para nossa próxima queda, que será Alpine, Yansu.
Game 3, we're halfway now, and this will be Alpine. The map is really big for everyone, and I already feel some heat here. I hope you guys feel the same as well. And now, me and Gamilota, we will get ready to take off.
Bora decolar, porque os jogadores já estão posicionados. Então aguenta coração, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
And without BRU in the conversation, it seems like WAG are poised to get off to another strong start. Of course, they had a slow opening, but they're ramping up. This one, if this map tells us anything, the WAG have a good chance of making that recovery.
If WAG crashes out here at Alpine, then you know for sure this team is having a terrible day, a horrible day, because they literally do better than the top two teams throughout the whole knockout stage here on this map. 2 Booyahs to their name thus far, the most consistent team with a average of 29 points. So they hit big on this map all the time.
See, it's a pretty spread out, got the BTR at Vantage. Another clash. Pain and CLG just cannot leave each other. The Pain kind of planned this from the beginning because they are looking to wipe out CLG for what happened in the previous round.
And if Pain can successfully do this, you know CLG is going to be in trouble. Pain currently is in the bottom 6, or bottom 5, I have to say. And a good turnaround here by FAQ as he shuts down Peter Excel, getting that headshot in. Now Dark on the way, a little bit too far away. Can he make it here in time? Noda! Make sure he makes quick work of the FAQ. Grenade from afar. We'll just flip them a tad bit. And Dark is in here to play, baby. He hit the double. Gus on the ground as well. My God, Dark on fire. He finds Noda, the third player. Motovia, the final one. Can he get there? Dark in a 1v4 potentially. He turns around. And he gets it? Did he get it?
He did!
Yes, he did!
What? That was so unlucky that he did. Motovia used Dark used that one gap in between the glue wall to catch Pain Gaming off guard. Motovia realized that his teammates is dying as he was trying to make that early rotation. Comes back, parkours through the window when he knows that Dark was waiting on the other side. It's just a pure panic from Pain. 2 rounds in a row, they get wiped out like this.
What did he just watch there? Dark, it just put on the show of a lifetime. This surely for the highlight reel. I mean, FAQ getting sprayed down to the ground, and this man was like, don't worry, bro, I got this. He got in there, got the job done, showed Pain Gaming what Pain truly is, and he's gonna keep them in the bottom 5, that's for sure.
This is not how you want your run to start. To fall 2 times in a row to CLG, who are also looking for top 12, by the way, and that, I think, set them in top 12 if they aren't already in there. E1, on the other hand, just found Evo's Divine, and it's not a good start. Evo's Divine in the previous round was basically bullying E1. This could be retribution. Ray not able to secure that elimination as the exchange is going to be there. E1 cleans up 2 of them.
Pao can't find those connections from afar, but it doesn't really matter. This compound is now going to be dominated by E1, and Evo's Divine on the way out. They bump into CLG. G'day is not having a good day at all. Now CLG off from a fantastic start. It's going to look for yet another 6 karma off screen. Wiped by WASK. How could we not see that?
What is happening? What is happening in this round? I mean, CLG really get the team back. If Evo's Divine gets wiped out here, I don't know what to say. But E1 somehow found CLG also. That's 5 points for E1.
Goodness me. It's not going to be a good day for G'day, is it? Man's going to be stuck shortly here. Unfortunately, E1 just have not had eyes on him just yet. Pal finally spots out ABAX. Drogon in hand. Double pump. Will find nobody. ABAX has got a little bit of a lifeline here. M1887 in hand, along with the XM8. Wants to put a little bit of distance so that he can use the assault rifle. Pao's going to meet him halfway. Anticipating this appearance here from that second door, but finding no connection once again with the shot. Goes in for the pursuit, but ABAX on for the recovery already. Even the launch pad will get out of there.
ABAX should be able to get out alive. E1 secures Snowfall for his team. Gonna put a kill order on the ABAX. Not wanting to let him drive away. Here comes Corinthians once more, looking for Was, Big Boss, and Leonimo. Completely separated. You got Mr. Ali out in the distance trying to provide support. And Domain from the side, they're all spread out.
Absolutely. Boss, really not the strongest team out here, so this is going to be a tough fight for them. If they can actually take out Corinthians, it's going to be a huge one for Wasp. Here comes back up now in Domin. It's a 2v1 up against Hawk, but Omala says not just yet, baby. Puts on the electrotherapy, backing up Hawk. But Omala gets on the back, Leonimo, but sprayed down. As Domin shows up, he gets taken out of the equation. Big Boss goes down. WASK still has Mr. Ali, who hits that revive onto Leonimo. The team survives for the time being.
Oh my goodness, I mean, yeah, again, the electrotherapy is so strong. The fact that Omana stayed alive for longer than he should have was essentially the win condition for Corinthians in that fight. Fluxo taking on BTR. Bob! This man has no fear! Just lands straight in front of Nems. Are you crazy? Brings it back up. If Nems doesn't go down, it would be a disaster for Fluxo. It seems like he's somehow still alive. Nems ready to take this fight. Waits for backup. Eco shows up. What's it takes both of them down? A turnaround on top of the building.
Riptide Rhythm breaking down his defenses, 2v1, and butches them up both at the same time. Kyong now shut down from afar. Bob's on fire. Bigatron Delta, they just messed with the wrong animal.
Yeah, they definitely did. Oh boy, that is unexpected. Gio up against Deeks. Also around. Sandbags actually not wanting to fight this one, so a free knockout for Deeks. It's a free point with the Bison. Still, Fluxo deciding to stay in this fight. No revives just yet, but they're willing to take on members of BTR. This could be the remnants of the Indonesian squad in this game.
He's actually trying to use that revival platform, but disturbed and shut down. Man should have depended on his pocket market just for one single revival, but it seems like he might have not had the coins to get that done. Now, Bigatron Delta joins 6 Karma and Pain in the lobby as 9 more teams survive.
That is so unlucky. The fact that Bob's got the wipeout was because he was able to get on top of the room which has been cleared out earlier on. WAG finds E1 and also attack all around in the nearby vicinity. In fact, throughout all that, Evo's Divine somehow is still getting picked up by E1 from afar. So that there are multiple fights going on.
Well, E1's taking multiple fights, but attack all around might just ruin their gameplay here. Stopping by to see if or not all's okay at Militia. It is an all-out war zone, but WAG just kind of slowing things down a little bit. E1 taking the roof, attack all around, might just luck out here, but E1 says nothing doing as they back away.
Yeah, finally calling it quits. Don't want to push it too far, right? Sometimes the luck might run out. They gotta run the Voodoo because they did split up into a 3-1 formation. I think WAG actually also having a split up formation as well. So the launch pads can be used. E1 reconvene with one another. Rotating south side might end up meeting one of the WAG scouts.
WSK's Big Boss doesn't seem so big now as he tanks the blue. Why did you? They spot him out. All thanks to those initial shots. Race him down. Big Boss is out. But WSK still in it. Explore. Down onto the ground once again as Bao finds him. Cyrus says no problem, sir. Brings him right back into play. But WAG's not having a great day at all today.
Well, look at this circle. So CLG is the only team like right in the center, and the only team that can come in from the south side is going to be Fluxo, somehow finding themselves right there east of Stadium, but every other team is just pouring in from north side.
Was Divine still chilling outside, just trying to find their recovery here. All 4 players had to go on a revival spree. They're looking for those coins. They want to hit those vending machines before getting into circle number 4. Circle 2 for the time being.
Double kill.
This is the damage that they most definitely can sustain without any problems today. Finding another player from the side of WSK. 5 elimination strong. Evos Divine doing everything that they can to recover from the earlier tragedy.
The fact that they've got the full team back is the best case scenario, right? We're approaching that late game phase, so any knockout from this point onwards is going to be incredibly punishing. And even then, they still aren't in the best condition. Just have to make do with whatever they have. In fact, E1s are the ones that are having a great time. 9 eliminations. This is also one of the teams that wants to make it to top 12, but needs a big round to be able to achieve it.
They only had 6 eliminations from the first 2 games combined, so to be on 9 elims here on game 3 is a huge start for E1. See if they can continue on as CLG scouts their area. CLG looking a little deadly ever since the previous encounter up against Spain Gaming, but not really the best team out there. So E1 Sports, this might just be a 50-50 fight between them. WAG already have got a target on their back, so this might just be a little bit of trouble in terms of giving away their position. Ali moving on into a spot where he cannot sustain on his own attack all around. Loses limit. X7 on the same time as Sniper Boy takes his shots.
Wow, so attack all around really just not having a day. Not making much progress. Corinthians though, they are gonna be the ones that is going to have that much of progress if they take out attack all around. But once more, the discipline from Corinthians are just so well displayed. They're not pushing the envelope in any capacity. They're just taking it slow.
They surely learned from week 1. Those mistakes now bearing fruit here on week 2, and most definitely for the grand finals preparation. Corinthians, they look so much more fine here on week number 2 now. Attack all around. Out of the pan into the fire potentially as EVOS Divine tries to cut off their rotation. They've spotted them from afar already as they move on into this next circle. They slowly approach this battle between Attack All Around and Corinthians. This is not looking good for the team from Thailand. Without limit, they do not have that long-range cover. They have to depend on Cougar and his Woodpecker.
You must feel so uncomfortable if you Attack All Around. You were so ready for a fight, and then your enemies just decided, you know what, we're gonna back off. And now Attack All Around finds themselves in such a weird spot. EVOS Divine will take the launch pad into the circle first, so it puts Corinthian in a position where they might have to fight through this. But they also understand that Attack All Around is nearby. They have a better chance of stopping Attack All Around. In fact, maybe they can take the long route, go over towards Rai, but they might run into Fluxo. Yeah,
it's a solid rotation from Corinthians. Fluxo doesn't seem like they want to fight just yet. Falcons just chilling outside the circle, but it's about to hurt shortly. E1 Sports slowly rotating away from Falcons, kind of giving them this compound to play with. This can be a good defensive spot for Falcons as they wait for information on the next circle, which we have just found as it hunts down CLG.
WSK guarding that north side. So the WAG should have a very clear route into it if they just beeline. If they move any closer, well, it seems like they will because they just spotted one of the hits of Attack All Around. It is going to be a massacre on that area. A big scan with the Dynamics. That's 8 members because it's EVOS Divine and Attack All Around in a full-on gunfight. Corinthians show up behind.
What? With Purgatory just smashing down those defenses. Riptide Rhythm takes away those glue walls. EVOS Divine, they will falter. At least 2 of their players now 2 back away, allowing the rest of the teams to get the damage done here. Corinthians hopping on in. Attack All Around, caught with their pants down. Purgatory can't do much, can't save his teammate just yet, who's on top of the boulder and has to stay silent, hoping and praying he's not found.
Yeah, as Fluxo wipes out EVOS Divine from the back as well. Corinthians, they also suffer some damage. They went for their rotation, trying to backstab Attack All Around. They ended up losing 1 member to Fluxo, who somehow sniped them from 10 miles away. Purgatory now just trying to buy time. WAG, they see this happening. Fluxo also paying attention. Corinthians have to make it quick. They shoot down Purgatory, but Cyrus steals it.
Cyrus steals it. Attack All Around out in a WAG having a little bit more of a decent game this time around, but not the best just yet. Once again, anticipated to win this booyah here at Alpine, but Corinthians right beside them. This is do or die now, and a fantastic Riptide Rhythm courtesy of WAG, breaking down the defense as Omala pushing on forward with the electrotherapy, but losing more than 70% of his health. Can they hit that on hack right now? Cyrus moving on from the back, and the grenade launcher just doesn't find those connections just yet. Allen up against hack, the throw got in hand, but Allen still wins that out with a charge buster of all guns.
That is so unfortunate. Omala got blocked off by the glue wall, so he really couldn't do much. Desperately trying to get out of the corner. Gave so much space to WAG. But Corinthians are not out just yet. You still got Omala somehow alive. Why I say that, the blue zone takes him out. Nando S getting shot down by GU off screen. This could be the end for Corinthians in this game. They'll be out in 7th.
WAG surviving only through Allen. No way this man gets those revives now. So potentially He's going to come crashing down before we even get to this final circle play. Brings in the monster truck for an extra layer of survival. Wow, was the one to take out the final remaining player here on the side of WAG, leaving Alan all alone. E1 spots just at the very edge of the circle, and WASK trying to keep them at bay. Mr. Ali brave enough of him, but Alan now single-handedly trying to take on two squads at the same time, but Floki gets the shot with the AC-80 from afar.
They see Mr. Ali. I feel like they're distracted by Falcons and Fluxo. Yeah, one more taking out Pao, but it's gonna be Fluxo, CLG, and Falcons all occupying one apartment building.
CLG needs these points. They're way too close to the bottom from Group B, and that's not a good sign because the teams in Group C, they still have got matches for tomorrow. That's Spain Gaming as well as E1. Wow, with a shot from afar. Good one from them. E1 spots. We're ready with 12 eliminated. He's still alive. Circle doesn't work. Good ball.
This is gonna be tough for E1. Look at the blue wall. Oh, the riptide rhythm! Oh, the timing could not have been worse for E1. They use at least 7 blue walls and all of them disintegrate in an instant. This could be the final resting ground for the entire squad. Really nothing much can be done. All the utility tossed in, and he's just eating fireworks at this point.
Oh, big brain play with the FGL. The grenade, though, just falling short just a tad bit. MVP still standing. E1 spawns. What a fantastic survival method. Just using the tree for a little bit of cover here. Ice grenade falls short, but the blue. You cannot run away from the blue. E1 has got to run in. Igwin, the final survivor, has got to bide his time, hoping and praying that CLG will keep Falcons busy. But they still have to worry about Fluxo, who's up on top of the roof.
That's the second strongest tree trunk after a mangrove tree for sure. Surviving all of that utility, all of that arsenal from 3 different squads. Look at this, so messy as we watch Igwin perish. And here comes the monster truck off the roof. This is going to be the final 5. Fluxo driving away to buy distance. This is actually a smart play, but Dark actually takes out GU. That's not the plan. Another Tyranium to expose Fluxo. This is the pandemonium. They crash straight into CLG. About to mow them all down. Complete madness as Fluxo expires. And now CLG drives into Falcons, but Falcons once more in the same exact position takes advantage of the Brazilian chaos and finds the second booyah of the night.
From no booyah in the knockout stage to 2 booyahs in a day. Falcons trying to get it done once again. From the depths of despair down at the bottom, they started off the day at the 12th spot. They climbed up to 7th earlier on, and I'm pretty sure they're going to climb up a couple of more spots here after this solid booyah. And they just let everybody do the dirty, especially the final sequence of the battle, staying out of the most parts of that fight. And the final few Riptide Rhythms just done those teams in.
It must be frustrating as a Brazilian fan. You look back at the replay of round 1 and round 3 as final circle, Brazil against Thailand, and then the Brazilians take each other out. Second time in a row, the Team Falcons won the round because they were opportunistic. Well, we can talk to them again about the second booyah of the day.
Mais um buia da Team Falcons por aqui. O primeiro time a conseguir uma dobradinha no dia de hoje. Eles que fizeram buia na primeira partida. Agora o nosso estúdio já ficou verde, preto por aqui. Vamos trocar uma ideia novamente com um dos jogadores da Team Falcon? Please, Yusu.
One more from Team Falcons, and congratulations for your second booyah of the game. You guys are so random, to be honest. You guys made up like ups and downs with our feelings. So moving on to our first questions. I heard that your teammate said that we are having some health issues about the jet lag, right? So how did you guys manage that, and how can you guys practice at the same time so we can come to this position?
เมื่อกี้ปีเตอร์บอกว่าทีมมันมีปัญหาเรื่องการปรับเวลาทำให้ช่วงสัปดาห์แรกยังเล่นไม่ค่อยเข้าที่เขาถามว่าแล้วตอนนี้เป็นยังไงแบบมีวิธีการปรับให้มันกลับมาเป็นปกติได้ยังไงถึงแบบได้2บูย่าแล้ว
ก็นอนไวครับซ้อมให้หนักซ้อมให้เหนื่อยครับแล้วก็แบบรู้สึกว่านอนหลับง่ายแล้วก็หลับให้ไวกว่าเดิมแล้วก็ตื่นให้เช้ากว่าเดิมครับ
We try to sleep early, try to play until like at night until we feel tired so we can get to sleep easily.
Okay. Great. Então a pergunta da Yusu foi mais ou menos sobre a adaptação deles, né? O que eles tiveram que fazer para se adaptar melhor aqui? Ele só comentou realmente de rotina básica, né? Eles tiveram que se adaptar muito mais sobre o horário, então dormir cedo, acordar cedo e ter uma rotina um pouco mais matutina, eu diria. Okay, so before in our first interview Peter, and he said about some changes. And right now we already know about the adaptation part, but I would like to know what kind of changes they had to do in their game, what kind of tactics they have to put in their game to have a great performance as they are doing today.
เราเรื่องเกมเรามีการปรับเปลี่ยนอะไรบ้างทำให้แบบว่าได้2บูย่าอย่างเงี้ยค่ะมีเทคนิคมีอะไรเปลี่ยนแผนตรงไหน
ก็จริงๆเรามีเคล็ดลับของเราอยู่แล้วครับแต่ว่าปกติจะใช้แค่รอบไฟนอลครับแต่ว่าอันนี้ก็เอามาใช้เพื่อให้คนดูที่เชียร์เราแบบเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะ
รู้สึกว่าไม่ผิดหวังใช่ไหม
ใช่ให้แบบว่ารู้สึกดีกันหน่อยใช่เดี๋ยวแบบใจเสียครับ
Okay, so he said normally they have their own trick that they will use for finals, but they use it now like to high up the audience that keep cheering and support them, and like to not make them disappoint on us and feel like better to see them play well.
That's cute. About the supporter game. Say that again for me, please.
Okay, they have their own trick that they will use in finals. Yeah, but they want to use it now, like so they can get back to what they are stand right now to keep the audience feeling hype, like not feeling disappointed to cheer them.
That's rich. Yeah. Awesome. Então, a minha pergunta basicamente foi, já que a gente já sabe sobre toda a parte de adaptação de vocês, agora a gente quer entender um pouco mais do jogo. O que vocês tiveram que mudar no jogo, de fato, para que vocês conseguissem trazer o jogo de volta a favor de vocês. E eles falaram que basicamente tem uma coisa em específica dentro do jogo deles que eles usam mais em dias de finais, mas eles entenderam que eles tiveram que trazer isso a favor deles nesse momento para que eles conseguissem ter melhores resultados. Então vamos ficar de olho aí no time da Team Falcons, porque eles já estão usando algumas estratégias deles de final, tá bom? Aqui na fase classificatória. Nesse momento, vamos de melhores momentos, porque de melhor aqui, só pro time da Team Falcons com 2 buiazões.
Congratulations, Team Falcons, again on having the second booyah. I think your fan will be so proud of you at this moment, and welcome back to the stage as well. This is the end of our interview, and now let's head back to our caster and see the highlights.
Second booyah in the single day, the second in the knockout stage overall. It's not easy trying to cope with a almost 12-hour time zone difference, but hey, Falcons made it work, and now they found a solution, right? Let chaos take its own turn, and then they come in for the win.
Absolutely, and of course they kept us all hungry, and this little trick that they had up their sleeves that they usually play for the comeback during the finals, they have played it right here, kind of biding their time, not really performing, and then boom, in your face sort of a performance towards the very end. This is what we expected out of Falcons from week 1, but they surely kept us hungry, and this is a treat for everyone to snack on. With those 2 booyahs, they have managed to jump up 6 spots from the 12th place. They are now standing on the 6th spot overall, just a few points behind WAG. Now, what's dangerous here for the teams in Group B, very specifically Corinthians as well as Fluxo, they better pick up more points because Falcons, who have got 6 extra games to play tomorrow, are too close behind them.
Yeah, and right now there are only 4 teams from Group A that are at risk of losing their spot. Obviously, Reda Esports is in the most dangerous position with 13 points. So for Corinthians, for the teams in Group B, again, getting as far up in the standings is of utmost importance. But for Team Falcons, got on fire, really showing up on fire in this round with that 5 elimination. Not much damage dealt, but most of it was just confirmed takedowns over and over again.
His weapon of destruction, the Groza, and used very effectively in all of those mid-range engagement. And overall, the combination of the double Tatsuya, A1-4, as well as the Skylar, we saw it come to full play earlier on, especially with one more and his Riptide Rhythms, breaking down the defenses of Fluxo as they flew off of the roof with the monster truck. That was surely the crippling blow that took the Brazilian squad out of there. But of course, the monster truck kind of rode around, breaking the chances of CLG's opportunity as well, because it wasn't the Riptide Rhythm, but it was the monster truck breaking down the defenses of their Brazilian brothers, which then opened up the game for Falcons to take away.
It's the pure definition of if I cannot win this, you cannot win this. We go down together, and then they realize that, oh crap, we just gave Falcons a second booyah of the day. But key players, we gotta take a look at Pulse 7, 8 eliminations and 3,116 damage, alongside On Fire with 5 assists. E1 actually having a pretty decent round, right? This is definitely this is their first day of the second week. Yeah. They have a good chance of making top 12 if they continue this performance.
Safe to say this is their best performance thus far in the knockout stage, and they most desperately need a few more of these types of rounds because they're still in the bottom 5. They're 1 point away from Redder Esports that's not even playing today, and you know, away from the 12th spot. They need 18 more picked up before they can even break through to the top 12. And let's not even talk about staying there because this is their final day. Sorry, they actually have got a few more games tomorrow. So a little bit more hustle today, continued by the efforts tomorrow, could actually get them into the top 12 for the final week of play.
Now even look at Corinthians, right? 60 points. They are definitely winning out in the elimination department. Placements also not doing too shabby. They only lost out to Falcons because Falcons got 2 booyah. So Corinthians, 60 points in 3 rounds. That's an average of 20 per round. That is beyond impressive for a team that we haven't seen for so long. And in fact, this is a new squad that we are seeing for the first time on the global stage.
They are in Group B. They have got 3 more games to go. Next, we hop on into Kalahari, a map where Corinthians usually are not really mid-card, right? They've got a single booyah to their name. In fact, they are the only team that has got a booyah at Kalahari when you compare Groups B and C. So they may just continue this fantastic run for themselves here.
Yeah, and if they do, it's going to set them up for success, right? They can end today and then they can have a good rest and just study the teams tomorrow and prep for Point Rush because it's pretty hard to catch up to Corinthians with the momentum that they have, right? And that's the recovery that we're looking for after a pretty slow start in week number 1. Contrary to that, WAG have not found their footing.
Yeah, they most definitely haven't. 17 points picked up from 3 games played, and their best map, Alpine, came crashing down for them. The team has to really work on this. But at the same time, do they actually need to work on anything? Because WAG has already shown up as a very big threat in week 1. And if they continue doing that in week 2 as well, they're going to just draw a huge bullseye on their backs. Perhaps keeping their heads down and clunking out a few more times might just do them good in the overall grand scheme of things. But of course, that's like wild theories thrown out there, right? Let's see if or not WAG wants to find a few of that recovery a little bit today. But even if they fail to do so today, they still have got another day of play tomorrow. And at the end of the day, they still are in a pretty decent spot in the overall top 12.
That's kind of the advantage you have being in Group C, right? Like if you're already in top 12 before the final day, you are going to guarantee top 12 when the final day rolls around, or high chance that you will be. And you know, on the other end, it kind of stings if you're in Group B because you really don't get a say in things, right? If you don't perform well in the first day, in the first day of the second half of the knockout stage, your chances drop down significantly. And I think teams like, our Evil's Divine clearly understand this. They are in 12th spot for now, but perhaps not for long, because it's not even a safe spot to be in.
Dude, you brought up the right team to highlight here because they are the best team on Kalahari thus far. EVOS Divine, when you compare groups B and C, they've got the most number of points at 57. They usually drop onto Shrine, so let's see if or not they'll aim for that yet again. Or are they actually going to take a low blow up against one of these squads who are struggling throughout the day, mainly Pain Gaming or 6 Karma. Buriram WAG as well as Twisted Minds are going to be our highlights here at Kalahari though. Which is a tad bit surprising.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if blood drops happen very often at shrines, so let's hope EVOS Divine can survive if that happens.
Bora decolar, Peu. Vamos para nossa próxima queda e vamos ver se vai dar Brasil, Yansu.
Yes, moving on to our 4th map, Kalahari. Since there's no Buriram United Esport and Twisted Mind, but we have WAG, the 2nd ranking for this map. So let's see if there's any magic happens. And now, let's go!
Para decolar, porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, pega sua Pringles, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
Game 4 out of 5, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sorry, game 4, day 5, I have to say. And it seems like EVOS Divine and CLG are still on a little bit of a troublesome spot here, a little bit too close towards the bottom. They are in Group B. This is the final 3 games for them in the knockout stage where they can earn their points. So it's going to be crucial that they end up in that final circle for these last 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think CLG and Bigatron Delta, the gap between these two teams on 7th to 8th spot is 30 points. So something that CLG needs to take note of. I mean, they did have a decent round 3, barring the fact that Fluxo kind of ruined their chances for Booyah, but still, right, they made it far enough, and they were able to get early points in round 2 and 3, thanks to early skirmishes with Pain Gaming. I think E1 just found a knockout onto Wask, so that's, again, first blood for Vitin.
And of course, picking up the strongest spot to drop on here at Kalahari, but potentially also one of the more highly sought after spots at Refinery. That high ground advantage very early on in the game that gave them the bird's eye view over Wask. Mammoth, on the other hand, is going to be grabbed here by WAG with not a thing to worry about, at least for the time being.
And Mammoth should be pretty safe in this opening. Usually not much teams go to Mammoth. I know BRUs sometimes visit this spot, but thankfully they will not be a point of concern, at least in the knockout for WAG, who are trying to just get as much as they can. You move away from Mammoth afterwards and start exploring the rest of Kalahari, since it's not really the best area to stay at for a long time.
Quick recovery from Wask puts us back onto a reset point here with 48 players, 12 teams strong. And this is going to be trouble if we still maintain these numbers towards circle number 3, but I expect that to not be the case. And WAG is looting up one zone to another, so nothing much for them to worry about. But a lot to worry about in the grand scheme of things. If they don't start picking up those points, they are surely going to get pushed lower and lower. Teams like Bigatron Delta are hunting for their spot. Falcons are now just 6 points behind them, looking to replace them in the 5th spot. And Falcons have definitely been on a supreme spree today, picking up 63 points from the past 3 games.
Yeah, put themselves 6 rounds away from tying with WAG. 21 from Corinthians, so that's one good round. Well, CLG is going to have a tough fight if they look forwards, right? We just talked about these two teams, especially Falcons, who are incredibly hungry to continue that winning streak. And today is also going to be one of the few days where I think the global audience, the fans, will enjoy in a different manner, because I've seen people say that BRU is winning too much, that we're running out of questions to ask them. So thankfully that will not be the case today.
CLG cannot fall in the early parts of the game anymore. Their final 3 opportunities to pick up points once again. And teams like Redder Esports, E1 and Pain Gaming, they've got 6 more games to play tomorrow. But obviously only has those 6. E1 and Pain, on the other hand, have got a total of 9, because they are playing in here today as well as part of Group C. So a lot of things for CLG to think about here, part of Group B. The question is, can they actually be the deciders of their own fate? We just have to wait and see. EVOS Divine getting away from trouble here, as Reiki finds a turnaround 180 onto Igwin with his AC-80, backed up by another player in the name of Bara. Keeping an eye on Vitin XP. Vitin 9, on the other hand, firing a shot with the M82B. Information given away. Vitin cooking up the grenade, potentially looking for Bara, and the connection with the shot instead buys in the hands of both of these players. G'day taking the spot right behind them, but Pain Gaming on the approach as well. Could just do EVOS Divine in.
Yeah, this could be a disaster for
beauty.
E1. It's gonna be a swing, a double up That's gonna be knocked down for Vinton. Unfortunately, he stayed around for too long. Bara still bleeding out as we get picked back up. We're gonna check in that in a bit as Today now under pressure. It's gonna be good on one side. His teammate is on the other. It's just linking up to take out Today. And Evo's Divine, they gotta try to out of there.
Oh, that was a final second link on that electrotherapy. Cassie saving the day for Pain Gaming here. But of course, in the grand scheme of things, they had the numbers. Even if that knock had come through for Evo's Divine, they should have been able to recover instantaneously. And Motavia spotting out Ray from afar, looking for the man, but he's on a prone, so no shot from the sniper just yet. One good connection with the grenade. Second one blocked off in a fantastic glue wall. The third, can he avoid it? Yes, he can! Riptide Rhythm won't break down his defenses, but off he goes with the launch pad. But out in the open areas, Ray just trying himself out here with the grappling hook, will be able to find a safer spot. Abex with the cover fire from up top, allowing his partner to get away.
Wow, good survival instinct. And Evo's Divine continues to take almost full control of Refinery. It's the red side, we see that portal go afar as well. There's a lot of investment from Pain Gaming, but getting nothing in return. 6 Karma will now gotta deal with Fluxo coming in Santa Catarina. It seems like 6K, they don't want to deal with this. Taking the launch pad to go away, but Bobs is on the case.
Oh.
What a shot. MT7 supporting that. He was more than ready to receive this hit. A second one right in front of him is Nico on the ground right now. Bobs gets bought back, but Fluxo just found 2 free points.
MT7 as usual, just showing off with his sharp shots, picking up 2 easy points. Attack all around here to clean up how 6K don't really have much of a choice. They have to take this fight. They've got a vending machine to play around with to buy themselves a little bit of an insurance. But this might just lead attack all around straight into the hands of Fluxo.
What?
Bad from afar. Chucks in a couple of shots, but it pushes in. It shuts down Cougar. Limit brings him back in, but now attack all around knows that there's going to be a little bit of trouble if they continue approaching the site.
That was so funny. He was so focused on up of the shipwreck. He didn't expect an ambush at the bottom. And that's going to be another 3 point for Fluxo. And now they're feeling really confident to go for more. You know that they're feeding themselves today. It's Fluxo trying to chase down the second member of attack all around. He even sees the dome being committed. Time Turner, so much investment just to stay safe. But Fluxo, they're not letting up.
Yeah, they survive for the time being though. Attack all around. Good recovery coming on through. What a revival platform to play with. But I don't think they're going to commit to this one. Putting them out in the open in the clear line of sight for Fluxo to shut down would not be the plan for attack all around. The revival comes through for Cougar, who drops pretty far away from the rest of his team members. And he's actually moving on in for the flank. He could just be the difference maker here for attack all around.
Wait, they're coming back. They're actually coming back to Santa Catarina. This could draw Fluxo again, because Fluxo are still hanging around. As Bobs takes down that, gonna see attack all around in the distance as well. MT7 actually getting sniped. They need to somehow get him back. There's the launch pad. Get him time with the blue zone closing in. It might not be enough time. MT7 bleeds out in front of Bobs.
Cougar, it looks like this backstab comeback here is fantastic for the man. Poongod trying to shoot out these players. We use the launch pad for the save, and Poongod from afar will secure one. Cougar meets them on the other side, everything crumbling down. But I gotta say, this comeback from Cougar on that revival flight is just absolute gold to watch. Bob's the final survivor, will head to the vending machine instead. 900 coins in his pocket, will be able to bring back 2 players. Fluxo will survive for the time being.
The bigger question is, did Bobs not tell his team that there is someone there? He clearly should have seen Cougar, right? They both just took the launch pad into the hands of attack all around. Bit of a careless oversight, and MT7 gets bought back. So Fluxo not out just yet, but this severely cripples that mid game.
WAG, single elimination thus far. As they approach Refinery, this might just be a battle of the East. The WAG cannot sustain high ground advantage for the players on the side of Evo's Divine. Abex has got his eyes on them already when they spot that out. Will use the launch pad to get a little bit closer. And they have got more than enough cover here from the natural side here at Refinery to continue pushing on. Evo's Divine, G'day tagged up from the back. Good solid blue balls will save them the trouble of using those medkits early.
So WAG now the challenge to Evo's Divine, who has been on this Refinery for the longest of time. Zabex drops down. We need time to heal back up. Trade the day gonna go onto the top floor. Alan trying to stay close to his teammate. Has that electrotherapy, so can't move too far away. Wins that fight, instantly traded out as he drops down. The full rush from Evo's Divine. Alan gets knocked down. Bara traded out to Cyrus. Then he ring around the Rosie Gade looking for the trade. Cyrus trying to hide in the corner. He's gonna lose his teammate. Puts up the blue wall as well. Traps Bara in, confirms a point for himself, but now has to go on survival mode as he buys X4 back.
A beautiful play from Cyrus. He was just waiting by the corner, anticipating a potential ambush that he can spring onto anyone that goes in here for the pickup. But unfortunately, players went for the secure onto his own teammates instead. Very smartly played by Evo's Divine. Apex meets him halfway. Bison in hand. Riptide Rhythm breaks down his defenses. Cyrus desperately trying to stay alive, but Gade says no, sir. And the one player brought back, X-Ball, will be the only one keeping the team still in play.
Wow, Evo's Divine, best round so far today. 10 eliminations, going strong. Certainly the strongest map, at least in this group pairing. X4 will be able to fly out into the sunset, into the blue zone. So, unfortunately, we'll have to play the slow game. 11 minutes, approaching the 11-minute mark. It is going to be tough for WAG to recover.
Once again, this is the best map for Evo's Divine. And they are the strongest team here when you pair up groups B and C. A high potential for a booyah, and they are literally showing off their supremacy here. Although they were forced on a early recovery earlier on, forced to bring Gade and Bara back. But it's something that they're not sweating too much about. Now up under fire, up against Corinthians. But off screen on the other side of the battlefield, we also have Wask in a lot of trouble. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. CLG and Pain Gaming both taking shots at them.
Corinthians, they also didn't have the best start to this round. Probably one of the rounds that they struggle a bit more than usual. Doesn't help that Evo's Divine is literally looking at them, right? They're willing to tank the blue zone just for a while to delay the Corinthians at Refinery, which is not even close to the safe zone. So Evo's Divine are going to start moving. You see Fluxo from the eastern side as well. So they hop into the truck. Evo's Divine finally making the rotation.
Let's see if or not they can get out of this area quick enough. The circle's already bringing in that strong damage. WAG, beautiful revivals coming on through for the team as well. Stay alive a little bit longer, but it's not a full squad recovery just yet. And they're dropping back in the thick of this action, so there's a potential the WAG actually is going to get sniped out of the air. Thankfully, everybody's in this compound, so nobody's looking up into the skies just yet. As I say that, Gus shoots Krillin right out of the sky. X-Ball goes down. But Nike Boy paid the price. This is Corinthians being smashed by the players on the side of Evo's Divine.
Also in a firefight of their own against Six Karma. It doesn't seem to be working out, but it's not because of Six Karma, it's because of Pain Gaming. From afar, Fluxo just completely wiped out in 12th spot. A disaster for them. They thought that they had a good chance and started off well, but the mid game was tough thanks to attack all around. A bit of an oversight, and right now to fall in the hands of Pain Gaming and Six Karma.
WAG clunks out once again a little bit too early. The team continues to struggle on week number 2. Day number 1 of play for them. 17 points from the first 3 games earlier, and nothing much from game 4 to shout about as well. The Vietnamese squad will have to make a desperate comeback a little bit later on. Bigatron Delta, 2 players in this compound, up against E1 as well as Pain. This is not going to be easy for them. He was behind potentially in a scuffle up against Falcons shortly.
See, Falcons also actually have a pretty good way to come into the circle, considering that there are still 10 teams remaining. It will get shot a little bit, but finds a compound that they can camp, hunker down for now. Got E1 against BTR on one side, in the center in fact. Attack all around. We'll have to deal with CLG once more.
Up on the second floor, CLG. Really giving away their spot just yet. They don't want to force out of his house. The previous circle was with them. But on this next circle, it is going to get a little bit more difficult. Attack all around on the approach. In the meantime, E1 finding players on the side of Wasp, shutting them down one after the other. CLG spotting out Falcon from afar. They got to take those shots. Attack all around, potentially going to do the exact same as well. So Falcon's in a tad bit of trouble. But as CLG is distracted, attack all around showing up. Let's see if or not they can get the better of them.
CLG, they are already kind of showing very consistent performance in this week number 2, right? Very good chance to make it to top 12 if they keep this going, but Limit is not gonna make it easy for them. The rush in, Poon God cuts to the back.
What?
And because of that, it exposes CLG and they're out.
Oh, Poon got almost got shut down there. Pulled up a crucial glue ball to stay alive. And now he's dealing with the blue. Being forced back little by little. The damage out of Circle 5. Yeah, not your friend at all.
Yeah, definitely not. Evil's Divine still hanging on. Out of the loop, Baron, Reptile Rhythm shows up. Grenade in the duck behind that boulder. That Grenade actually clips him, but the Trogon overhead. That's a 3-pointer from On Fire. Grenade will have to just surrender to Falcons. Just slowly swoop in. They also suffer damage as Wasp gets wiped out in 9th spot. Falcons now have full control over the northern side of the circle.
That's Divine. Don't tell me they're still surviving. One more player potentially out there. Corinthian's the first one to get knocked out from that bout. Pain Gaming losing player after player as well. Up against E1 and then they hop on out just to meet attack all around. He was Divine out for the count as well in 5th. Pain Gaming cannot survive this bout any longer here. E1 have got them outnumbered in a tight little corner, and you can't even get away from this fight because if you do, attack all around is waiting on the opposite end. But as I say that, attack all around getting a little bit too busy with Falcon.
Attack all around will have to somehow take out On Fire because this guy has been doing so much work today. One more supporting through the glue wall. And just enough. On Fire does get knocked down, but Kruger takes up Karoro also, and then one more has to do it all on his own. Gets On Fire back up on his feet. Karoro will have to be surrendered as that attack all around continues to pummel Falcons, but they got bigger problems. E1 behind him.
Yeah, Vintage shows up in the nick of time and attack all around finishes off the rest of the players. It is that AWM and the grenade launcher combo. Igwin down on the ground. Attack all around On Fire in a different form this time around. All 3 players hopping on in, looking for Vit and XP. The man is nowhere to be found. Right behind that glue wall. He stands. Down it goes. And the shots come on through. Cougar cannot find the secure just yet. But it's just a matter of time as attack all around secures their 3rd booyah of the knockout stage.
Finally, a booyah for attack all around. Just as questions were raised if today is just not the day for attack all around, if they're gonna be at risk of dropping out of top potentially when tomorrow rolls around, they secure a better standing with this booyah. Actually a big injection of points as well at the very end. It's gonna shake up the standings a little bit, but overall there is attack all around. But special shout out Evil's Divine having quite a performance this round.
They were standing at an average of 7 points from the first 3 games, and they just hopped up with a 30 bomber. But of course, let's hear exactly what the winners have to say for their phenomenal booyah.
Buiazão, mais um buia aqui nas mãos de uma região tailandesa, né? Então a gente tem agora aqui um buia da AAA e vamos falar agora aqui com este queridíssimo, com este lindo penteado aqui, que eu já quero fazer logo a primeira pergunta para saber aqui o que esse cabelo. Please, I would like to know about his hairstyle. What about it?
พูดอะไรเกี่ยวกับทรงผมของเราหน่อยมันคืออะไรมีที่มายังไงคะ
อันนี้ก็ทรงผมที่มาตั้งแต่ไทยนะครับที่แข่งที่ไทยครับเพราะว่ามันเร่งรีบจริงๆครับตื่นสายครับ
เหตุผลคือแค่นั้น
ใช่ตื่นสายใช่เป็นทรงนำโชคด้วย
It's nothing much. It's the hairstyle that he kept doing it since he was in Thailand. But the background story is just that he woke up late, like take a shower and like don't have time to do his hairstyle, and his hair is too long, and he didn't get the haircut. So he
Okay.
just made it.
Maybe he can get a haircut here in Brazil, get a Brazilian hairstyle.
Maybe.
มีเพื่อนตัดผมแล้ว
Tá bom, então a minha primeira pergunta pra ele foi por causa do cabelo, né? Quero saber assim, por que ele tá com esse cabelo assim hoje? Por que ele escolheu? E ele falou assim que na verdade ele acordou um pouquinho tarde, então como ele tem um cabelo grande, ele não teve tempo de finalizar o seu cabelo, então aí ele só amarrou, deu um negocinho ali, um jeito. Fez isso.
Well, to be honest, like I think Talent today they're going to dominate the board game again. So Limit, since we are in our second week of the knockout stage as Also, do you feel any threatened? Do you feel being threatened by the Vietnamese team? May I ask, which is WAG?
บอกว่าตอนนี้ก็เป็นสัปดาห์ที่2แล้วเรารู้สึกเหมือนว่าเราโดนกดดันหรือเราโดนกดดันจากทีมจากเวียดนามอย่างเช่นทีมแว็ก
ผมคิดว่าเราไม่ได้เจอกันแล้วเราเล่นคนละลายกันก็ไม่รู้สึกกดดันเท่าไหร่
He said that I don't feel any threatened because it's more like attack all around and WAC doesn't play at the same path. So don't get the chance to face against each other.
No, what about Indonesia?
No, I mean like they didn't play at the same
circle, right?
Ah,
same circle.
Okay.
Different level.
Not even Indonesians?
เราอินโดล่ะอินโด
อินโดก็เจอบ่อยอยู่ครับก็ตามตารางคะแนนที่ห็นนะ
He said like yeah we face Indonesian team a lot you can see by the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. A pergunta da Yusu foi mais diretamente virada para o time da região do Vietnã e ela queria saber se já como essa é a segunda e última semana da fase classificatória, como é que eles se sentiam a respeito das outras regiões, em especial do Vietnã. E ele falou assim que na verdade não se sente nem um pouco ameaçado pelas outras regiões, principalmente da do Vietnã, porque eles não estão muito perto da tabela de classificação. Acho que o que ele quis dizer de fato é que não é nenhum perigo para ele, porque eles não estão disputando ali lugares próximos da tabela e também a Indonésia, eles também estão bem diferentes na tabela. Então, basicamente é isso, minha família, mais um bui aqui para os times tailandeses. Vamos continuar assistindo aí e vamos de melhores momentos dessa última partida.
Thank you, Bun, for accompanying us on the stage as always, and congratulations to Limit, Attack all around. You guys have achieved this booyah on this game. This is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for watching, and now let's head back to our caster and see the highlights.
Hitting the 30 bomber as they secure a solid booyah for themselves. Attack all around has done it at the right time before we head on into Nexterra, a map where they are so fond of dominating. The only team when you compare groups B and C that actually have booyahs on Nexterra, and they don't have one but two. So this could just be a back-to-back for the Thai squad.
Yeah, a great time, in fact, a perfect time to come alive, right, on a map where once more we're looking at Evil's Divine to dominate, but it was Attack all around that won at the very end. Still, you look at Evil's Divine, 18 points, their best performance so far considering the average that they've been getting in the first 3 rounds. But this 30 bomb is going to set Attack all around up for success considering that they still got 6 more rounds tomorrow. This is a very good insurance policy.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? And if you've got 6 more games to go, you're solid in the top 12. And it's a little shocking, right? Because when we started off the day, both Falcons and Attack all around, they were in the 11th and 12th spot. And just like that, solid comeback from both of these Thai squads to climb right back up. And here I was thinking it was just going to be a day for Brazil and LATAM to make a little bit of noise. Well, CLG definitely made a little bit of noise, but was that enough noise to keep them alive here throughout the knockout stage? We'll have to wait and see. They're still somewhere pretty close towards the bottom with 2 more chances to pick up points. But of course, the spotlight once again on Limit X7. This time, he doesn't hit the 7 on the eliminations, but he does make it up through the assist.
Yeah, great player back then when he was with E Arena, right? He was the FFSI MVP of the finals, and that's the only FFSI we ever got in the competitive circuit, funnily enough. So one of a kind for sure. But the addition to Attack All Around definitely kind of strengthened that long-range support. It's something that Attack All Around has been lacking for quite a few seasons, and with Limits acquisition, they definitely bolstered that support coverage that Attack All Around used to lack.
Oh, look at the assists from Jump God. 10 assists. Limit has got the 7. Eliminations-wise, though, Cougar grabbing the 7 for his squad. A total of 30 points for the team. 12, of course, from the placements. 18 eliminations strong. They definitely dominate the key players. 7 eliminations from Cougar. Limit grabs it for the damage and the assist. Like I mentioned, Jump God, my goodness, Attack all around had a massive round this time.
Yeah, incredibly big round. And just sometimes all you need is just a monstrous round to put yourselves up on the leaderboard, right? 3 out of the 4 members as the elim leaders. You got Limit, Pungot, Cougar, for special mentions, ABAX with 5, and Foul 7 with 4. again, E1, showing some surprises, showing some promises today, and considering that they are from Group C, they definitely don't feel as pressured as some of these teams.
But they should feel the pressure, man. I mean, E1 has been doing decent today. This is their best run thus far in the knockout stage. But unfortunately for them, they sit in Group C and they will have to hustle quite a bit more. Obviously, they've got 6 more games to play tomorrow, but they cannot take any chances whatsoever. They have to continue picking up these points for themselves. CLG, on the other hand, although they've done decently well for themselves, they are in Group B, which means the warning bells have started ringing, and I don't know if or not they can get away from this trouble.
Yeah, it definitely looks pretty tough, right? The fact that CLG got out to a decent start, and what looks like a decent start, but fell short pretty quickly, despite having one round where they made it into top 3. This is definitely not the position I expect them to be in. I was ready to write a story of CLG making history for Chile as a region to make it into a grand finals, but now it seems like that flame is slowly going out, and hopefully in the last 2 rounds they can kind of muster up whatever strength they have to give us a good performance.
Fluxo says no booyahs, no problem. They still keep the pressure up top on that leaderboard, currently sitting in that 2nd spot. They will most definitely lose it as they end their day of play here today. Groups A and C a little bit too close to them, but a surprising rise to supremacy coming through from Corinthians, the better Brazilian squad for the day, and they might just be able to continue being the best team if they can grab a couple of more booyahs for themselves.
Yeah, they already look pretty comfortable in the top 12 spot. I don't see anyone from Group A or C moving up 10 spots in a single day unless something miraculous happens. So Fluxo and Corinthians obviously feeling a lot more relaxed, but just play out the last 2 rounds the best they can and, take the day off tomorrow. Again, all eyes are going to be on EVO's Divine CLG. Depends on how much gap they can create between themselves and Swa Esports E1, because if not, there's a chance they lose that spot tomorrow. So it's tough.
Absolutely. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gearing up for Nexterra, so don't go anywhere. We've got a short little break coming up, but when we come back, chaos once again.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos? No, no está cerca del mar.
Yo de aquí, de la ciudad.
Mira,
¿Tú de qué parte eres?
del norte.
Es una zona cerca de Bolivia, pero...
We're back, and Cross getting ready for Nexterra, one last guaranteed map on these rotation before we hop into the random map. So again, it's crunch time for some of these teams, and like you mentioned, AJ, earlier on, Attack All Around could have picked a better time to come online, scoring a 30 bomb on Kalahari, and right now about to head into the best performing map. So let the teams get ready to get into the futuristic urban jungle. Nexterra coming up.
And out of 4 games thus far, the East has proven their supremacy, with Falcons making a strong comeback, the most number of points picked up thus far in a single day of play. And they're not even done with the day just yet, Husky.
Yep, definitely not. Look at that. Again, Attack All Around, like you mentioned, best performing team on Nexterra in the grouping. Of course, BRU and Mice not part of the conversation. More around can score another big bomb. Oh, he's about to threaten everyone else on the standing. So let's see if they can continue that dominance.
Bora para nossa próxima queda, que é Nova Terra, Insu.
It's almost come to an end right now. This is the 5th game. Nexterra is our next map. We are getting ready to take off for you guys to watch the game right now.
Porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
Attack
Head
all
into
around
game
may
5.
be the best on this map, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but let that not fool you. The Brazilians are right there behind them. Fluxo, Pain Gaming, as well as Corinthians are pretty decent on this map as well, Husky.
Yeah, can't wait to see if the Corinthians can kind of recover a little bit. I mean, they had a good day so far, but still, they did have a bit of a dip in Kalahari. Didn't have the best early to mid game, getting sniped out in the open. But then again, Kalahari is a nightmare for most teams. Gonna drop at Zipway though, surrounded by Falcons, BTR, and CLG. So not the best spot to drop in early on if you are looking for early combat. We'll see how Corinthians deal with that. Meanwhile, Wasp and 6K, the two bottom teams, are off to a gunfight.
Surprisingly, Wasp is the better team for the day. 24 points picked up as opposed to 6K with just a total of 12. Let's see if or not they can keep up that sort of a performance in this fight as well. Decent 4v4 Leonimo, the first ones to find an unknown with the electrotherapy connection. P90 pushing on fourth. It's a 3v2, but unknown gets knocked down to the ground first. Domin soaking up a majority of the damage, and now Leonor pushes on fourth. Riptide Rhythm bursts down his defenses. Nico gets spent as well, and Wasp very decently taken over this compound.
Wow, good stuff from Wasp.
Double kill.
Really isolating all the members of 6K one by one. They all get taken out. Full wipeout without any single loss. That is perfect.
It's the perfect encounter at the early game as well for Wasp. The only team doing worse than them is actually 6K, who's in that 17th spot. So all smiles for these boys. Let's see if they can continue to meet the lower ranking squads. The next one is actually going to be Pain Gaming, but Pain has actually been on a decent run for the day in terms of survival. So that might just be a 50-50 fight between the two. E1 Sports, on the other hand, a team that's desperately still trying to break through the top 12, currently sitting in the 13th spot, 3 points away from RRQ, who are in 12th.
Pretty crazy to see RRQ kind of in that position, right? Like, say that about EVOS Divine, who, again, needs to find a bit of a lifeline. They are sitting in nice spot with 180 points, but still not a safe position to be in. WAG also trying to recover, kind of recoup their losses, considering that they had a pretty abysmal start and never really got off into the tempo. But E1, on the other hand, has been doing pretty okay.
Ice Grenade is going to tickle Igwin a little bit. But if there's anything about the E1 Sports players, they are not one to give away compounds that easily. They're not the best on this map though, so they may just have to play this one careful. WAG, thankfully, is not a very dominant one on Nexterra. Mid-card team thus far in the knockout stage, picking up a total of 29 points through the 3 games played. So that's not really a good stat if you are WAG. E1 may just be able to overcome this one in their desperate attempt to break through the top 12.
It's going to be potential Hail Mary, even in that position. Yeah, they're not looking to fully commit to this. So it's just going to be a 2 versus 4. Let's see how much resources they can get out of WAG. That blue wall will take a while WAG empty a whole magazine to break that out, but E1 all about buying time. It's delayed tactics. Alan almost getting caught off guard, if not for the electrotherapy to keep him alive. Mitten going down thanks to Cyrus from around the corner. Iguin also getting one down. Vitin stands back up, picks off Alan. A disaster for WAG. This is not how they envisioned this skirmish to end up in.
Oh, Krillin tagged up already by the A124. Iguin very quickly in with the double vector. Turns around, gets another one as well. Krillin sprayed down to the ground. E1 putting up a strong fight up against WAG, who's supposedly the better squad.
Everything that could have gone wrong for WAG went horrible. It was a 4v2. They lost 3 members because of that. Didn't even take one with them. Maybe BTR would be the team to clean up E1. Iguin is finally be taken now. BTR a lot more coordinated in their assault. And Vitin is going to surrender. Sniped down by Diggs. Very well done. So BTR finds 2 points.
Megatron Delta playing without Koja today. Tad bit unfortunate after the mistake made yesterday with a skin that's not supposed to be used. So they are on a slower pace today for sure. But thankfully the team has picked up enough points to stay a threat in the competition. Unfortunately though, not a single booyah today.
See, this Tyrida. Wow, so big. That is massive. They do lose jump guard. It's a trade that Tag All Around will have to give it though. So that is unfortunate, but still, Tag All Around, not the one to back off. Instantly finds a revive. That's the portal goal. So much money invested. Corinthians really willing to spend that money, but maybe it's going to pay off. They pick up some points from the floor and going to find Cougar in the process. So another extra point, I believe. Grenade in hand. Cougar tossed that out. That one's going to be blocked up by the glue wall. Over the top is Nandowex.
A good defense, but here comes Hack. On the right-hand side flank, Max 7 in his hands, but just can't find the connection just yet. Cougar buying a lot of time for the rest of the players to survive, but E1 potentially meeting them on the opposite side as well. Nando X will be the final one to meet the man. Limit 7 knocked down as well by Iguin, and E1 picking up the scraps here on attack all around as we take a little highlight onto Magic Squad, the current reigning champions, but not even in play.
Oh yeah. Pretty awkward, right? Like, imagine the Fluxo player seeing that on the container.
Be like, hey, wrong team highlight.
Well, technically it's correct. It just swap teams afterwards. You know?
Yeah, just like, no. You cannot call yourself the champion team without the team name on you. Of course, jokes aside, attack all around, still scurrying for survival here through Poongod. Back to the Max 7! Able to squeeze Poongod into a tight spot. But Jump God that was brought back keeps the team alive on the revival onto Cougar as well. Looks like attack all around will continue fighting, at least for this game for the time being.
Yeah, 5 points for Corinthians, looking pretty comfortable. Attack all around, fortunately, on a revival spree. Cougar's gonna drop by a zipway and might run into WAG. We'll see. WAG also not having the best time, so it's gonna be 2 crippled players. Avoiding any face-off. WAG goes the other way.
Smart play for Cougar. Just dropping straight onto a coin machine to pick up enough to buy back yet another limit 7. And the best map for attack all around seems to be giving them a tad bit of trouble here early game. From Delta, on the other hand, finding CLG. Is this where the hopes of CLG comes to an end? But if they can survive up against Bigatron Delta, smashing them right here, right now, perhaps they stand a better chance.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be the biggest fight for CLG for sure. The 2-2 setup though, it's going to take a while for them to commit to this.
Why? You don't want to be Cyrus. But perhaps Cyrus will get a tad bit lucky. Nah, he doesn't get lucky. Sprays back with a Bison. On for the ambush, and finds him with the Drogon. Too easy for the squad as they outnumber the player.
It's a matter of time. It's either that or the blue zone. So, the moment he got brought down low, it's guaranteed that he's gonna go down for sure. Well, he was Divine. He finds himself on top of Graph Lab. But Pain Gaming just arrived. They caught a glimpse of it, but the angle not quite right. So Pain Gaming suffering some chip damage. Had to use the blue wall though. That returned him, unfortunately. kind of a hit point blank on front of themselves. So Pain Gaming kind of dodging a bullet there.
I don't know what was the idea, but clearly it didn't work out here for EVOS. Pain Gaming still having to tank the blue though. Thankfully, it's not a lot of damage from the second circle. In a few seconds, it will start to hurt a little bit. EVOS Divine just trying to be a greater damage dealer in the sequence. The rest of the team members still pretty much inside the circle. Corinthians getting away from E1 on the opposite side of the battlefield. Both of them still tanking the blue.
E1 continue to move 5 points. Again, another round where they off to a great start. They're taking a lot of the blue though. Willing to sacrifice a bit of that health bar to loot up first. Get themselves ready for the next stage. You can see the utilities, especially the troll bows. Vinton himself has 10 of them. Using the launch pad now to fast track their progress. Meanwhile, Pain Gaming, they are just baiting in the blue.
Talking about a gatekeep, man. He was defiant. Keeping Pain a couple of steps away from themselves. Pain Gaming in Group C. So they are not the ones at a greater loss here if this fight gets dragged out. EVOS Divine, on the other hand, cannot afford to fall early. And Pain Gaming, Mortal Go takes the better side of the circle. And now they get to reverse gatekeep EVOS Divine. What a turn of event.
Yeah, so they somehow end up in front of EVOS now. Gatekeep EVOS if they want to. Corinthians wiping the floor with E1. And that is going to hurt their chances for sure.
Corinthians continue to do well. Once again, attack all around may be the best here, but we still do have the Brazilians who do make a lot of noise on Nexterra. Fluxo, followed by Pain Gaming and Corinthians. And as you see, Corinthians off to a fantastic start. 7 eliminations already. And speaking of Fluxo themselves, they find Wask. But Wask is not here to mess around with one of the greatest, if not the greatest Brazilian squad. Launch padding themselves out of trouble.
Okay. Wow, there's 8 eliminations. Fluxo now is going to speed up their rotation. Uh-oh! Right in front of Falcons. Well, the timing could not have been more perfect. Falcons just ran out to do a bit of a scouting duty and saw the whole team of Fluxo fly in.
UAV is going to scan out the whole team of Fluxo. Sorry, whole team of Falcons and one more. Just making sure gets one player out of the equation so that the trouble can be watered down a little bit. Straight down. Bahia from afar. The pickup not too crazy to pull off here. He was Divine on top of the dome, so they do have this bench.
Falcons actually getting shot as well. We got Monster coming in over the top. Bombs, what a nade! With the grenade launcher, Kororo shows back up. And second nade, Kororo flushed out into the open. Bob turns around. Kororo just trying to stay alive in this chaos. Couple seconds, 4 bombs on the chase. Pulls out the mini Uzi. Kororo around the corner with the charge buster in hand, but just does not have intention to fight.
Yeah, great A124 pop there. Just saves his life, just slowing the boy down just a tad bit. But this Bison should have been able to hold his own in that fight. Wow! Through the wall. It's burning Kororo away. Forced to run now on the back foot. Falcons, can they recover? Kororo is taking damage from the blue. And finally down on the ground as MT7 shows him the exit back to the lobby.
Poor dude. So smart from Fluxo, really covering all the bases. Giving an attack all around, still hanging around the area. EVOS Divine is going to be there. A 3-way fight. First to be the first one. Wiping the floor with EVOS Divine, just absolutely mowing them down. Attack all around might have a chance to come in as Falcons are already wiped off the lobby. Attack all around. Second one to join the fight, but Pain are just ripping through both the teams.
Ulgar and Cougar still alive here. Attack all around. How much longer can they stay alive? Up on top, you've got Pain to deal with. Down at the bottom, CLG on the approach. Riptide Rhythm gonna burst down their defenses. What a play by Pain Gaming. Cougar does steal away that point off of Pain Gaming, who are gonna be a tad bit annoyed. Attack all around, still alive and messing around with the momentum of Pain Gaming. Now shooting them from the back as well. Italo low on that HP. But attack all around does lose Cougar. All thanks to Leo Nemo that steps on in from afar.
Oh, the Horizon line brings goods back up, but it might have been overwhelmed. This is the 5th team that shows up here. Corinthians finally putting a stop to the carnage that is Pain Gaming. 12 eliminations for the Corinthians themselves. Pain Gaming getting wiped out after going on a tear. That could have been their moment. but Corinthians robbed them of it. CLG might be the next one on the menu. Hawk from the back, Takia knocked down Omala as well. As CLG puts up a fight, but it's not enough. Corinthians continue to stand strong, taking out CLG. Now takes our attack all around, 15 eliminations.
My God, Corinthians about to be that #1 squad here on Nexterra, as well as the overall leaderboard for the day. 3-man strong, but the only team they really need to worry about at this point is Bigatron Delta. The rest they should be able to sort out on their own. Bigatron Delta waiting to surprise the rest, 6 eliminations strong. The very edge of the circle. One final player on the side of WLG to do away with, and X-Force still staying alive with AWM in hand.
Gonna be easy for him for sure. BTR against Corinthians. That's the portal go drop. Corinthians thinking about going right into BTR, but with WASK there, it's not gonna be a safe spot to deal with. Maybe they can use the WASP to be the distraction. And unfortunately, it's not working out. Big Boss getting sniped. And now WASP puts himself in a compromising position. Leonimo and Domain both getting his gun down. Corinthians tearing everyone to shreds.
I mean, Corinthians are just on a different level at this point of time with those eliminations. Now in a 3v3 fair fight between Bigatron Delta and Corinthians. Nando stepping on into the heat of battle alongside Omala, and Diggs just still surviving with the Drogon outside the blue, tanking the damage and still surviving with the shutdown. Bigatron Delta, we just talked about them. Without Koja, can they get it done? They look like they're so close to it. Hack and Nando X down on the ground. Bigatron Delta secures a booyah without Koja.
Man, this is a heartbreak for Corinthians. The 3rd time they make it to top 3, and yet they could not get a booyah. It kept slipping away from them. First it was Falcons, and then Bigatron Delta. But nonetheless, it was a pretty darn good round. Once more, Corinthians, even without a booyah, they cashed in on so much elimination. So sure, BTR got the win, but Corinthians, they're also a secret winner behind the scenes.
And the first booyah of the knockout stage. The Indonesians can most definitely celebrate this one. They are from Group B. They are on their final match right after this, so it's good timing for Bigatron Delta to nail this. One more game, if they can get it done back-to-back, they will guarantee the spot on the top 12. But let's hear from the winners what they have to say.
Aquele detalhezinho favoreceu a Bigtron e tem já um bui aqui nas mãos da Indonésia. Então, meus amigos, vamos trocar uma ideia aqui com o time da Bigtron, porque foi o primeiro buia deles aqui, tá bom? Então, vamos lá.
Welcome, Bigatron Delta, to our interview today, and congratulations for having your first booyah here in today's match. So, being considered the smallest how do I say, the smallest roots from Indonesia team, but you guys have made such a huge step to the global finals at this moment. So how would you compare your team with other team, especially with Brazilian teams?
Oke, ya kita kan udah ngerasain ini selama ini nih, ngerasa kesulitan juga. Dan lu gimana cara lu komparasi dengan tim Brazil?
Yang pastinya tetap adaptasi sih, tapi ya nggak bisa, kita juga harus beradaptasi cepat, dan juga ya perlu kedisiplinan yang lebih buat respect tim Brazil.
Oke, we need to faster adapt for here. Okay, then and only we need to apa tadi?
Adaptasi cepat dan disiplin.
Yeah, and discipline also, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Ok. A primeira pergunta da Yusu foi a seguinte, ela perguntou como é que eles estão se adaptando ao estilo de jogo brasileiro, levando em consideração que a Indonésia também é uma das menores regiões aqui, né? E ele falou assim que ele só precisa ter mais disciplina e se adaptar o mais rápido possível, né? Porque são poucas semanas e o tempo urge. Okay, so what is the importance of have a World Championship victory for Indonesia, especially considering that the Asian region is being dominated for Thai teams?
Oke, ya apa yang jadi landasan utama lu kalau misalnya tim Indonesia tuh bisa mendominasi juga. Ya.
Yang pasti kita nggak perlu nakutin buat tim-tim lain sih. Yang penting fokus buat tim kita sendiri.
Ya, we just only focus for our team. Yeah.
Ok, great answer. Eu perguntei assim para ele qual que é a importância da Indonésia ganhar, né, um campeonato mundial, o Mundial de Free Fire, levando em consideração que o time, a região da Ásia é totalmente dominada por time tailandeses, né, só tem vitória tailandesa. E ele falou assim que, na verdade, ele só está interessado em focar no time dele. Espero que ele tenha entendido bem, né? Porque, na verdade, a Ásia ainda é dominada por todos os times tailandeses. Vamos de melhores momentos agora, minha família, porque a gente ainda tá sonhando com o Buia brasileiro. A gente tá bem pertinho. Vamos mandar a torcida aí pro Brasil.
Yes, and this is the end of our interview. So if you guys are watching, please continue to support your favorite team here. Here's all the 12 teams, and I do believe that they all need your support the best. Then this is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for watching. Let's head back to our caster and see the highlights.
Thank you very much to our host again. Well, we mean the world to Indonesia, right? Again, they have tasted the scent of a trophy, but they've never brought one back. Close, but still too far at the very end. Imagine winning the World Series in Brazil, of all places. That would be historical. But of course, they gotta get through this first. And I like it, BTR coming in as literally the underdogs, despite having quite a debut in the fall season. Still able to deliver on the world stage really proves that they deserve to be here.
Would be a breath of fresh air to see Indonesia walk away with the trophy. We were all expecting Vietnam to be the underdogs to get that done, but of course Bigatron Delta could just be the biggest shocker of the day. And at this point of time, they're doing even better than their brothers RRQ, who have been pushed into the bottom 5, which is an even bigger shocker.
Yeah, it's a complete shocker. RQ, Kazu, Evos, Divine, both getting outdone by Bigatron Delta. Right? I think a lot of people, if you just look at the lineup itself, Bigatron probably ranked last out of these 3 teams, but it's completely been reversed. So it definitely, I mean, again, I think they bring in a style where RQ used to introduce and perfected for the Indonesian region, and then BTR showed up and they refined on it. They got that aggression, but at the same time, they're also willing to take their time to gather intel, and that's what kind of separates them from the rest of the Indonesian teams. They are just a lot more confident in these close quarter combat.
4 on the eliminations and assists, a total of 1,613 damage, and the weapon of destruction in the hands of Nems, the AC-80. But what made him the most trouble is that electrotherapy bond that he just kept giving time and time again. And it was obviously Dix and Ekal that brought in so much of destruction, mainly Dix, as Ekal tried to back them up from afar as well, that sniper. It is just a phenomenal event here to watch Bigatron Delta sweep away this Booyah on one of the biggest stage, if not the biggest stage they've played on thus far.
Yeah, and having a pretty massive round overall. At least for them today, right, it is going to be the first ever Booyah in the knockout stage as well. Set themselves out for a pretty good pace, especially approaching the final round of the day. They really gotta get as much points as possible because tomorrow is going to be that day off. But it's good to see that the boys are in good spirits. Although key players though, shout out to all of the Corinthians. We got Omala with 6 elims, we got Hak with 3,012 damage, and Bahias with 12 assists.
As anticipated, it was Brazil showing up strong here at Nexterra. The only one kind of disappointing a tad bit was attack all around. But in the grand scheme of things, they are decently well in the top 12 with 6 more games to play tomorrow, let alone the next one that they will play on that random map. And even on the elimination leaders, it is Omala, Nando, X, and Hak picking up the highlights once again. Domin showing up for Wask. That's huge.
Yeah, it definitely is. Wask at 40 points today. And then you got Corinthians, 92 points. Despite Falcons having 2 Booyahs. I mean, we talk about Corinthians being consistent, but this is a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course now 10 points behind Twisted Minds on the overall leaderboard. Corinthians just making Brazil really proud, and it's great to see them come in here for such a mad push on their final day of play, giving us great big confidence that we are gonna see a lot of powerhouses from Brazil in the final week of play, and most definitely we are in for a treat here, Husky.
Yeah, we definitely are. I was kind of looking at the statistics, and I realized that, for Corinthians, they got 2 Booyahs. You look at the top 5 teams, only 2 teams have 1, so Bigatron, Delta, and Fluxo. Corinthians have 2, but in terms of eliminations, they actually aren't the highest in terms of that, right? They're only ahead of Bigatron, Delta. So a lot of these points came from placements alone. They got most of the elim points from week 2 itself.
Yeah, 123 points on the placements, 134 from the eliminations for a total of 257. But of course, you've got a couple of teams in Group A and C just waiting to outdo them, overtake them once again. But in the grand scheme of things, the recovery for Corinthians here in week 2 is phenomenal. And this is exactly what we wanted out of them. And they are finishing strong here at the knockout stage. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, for me, I just want to see what map we have coming up for round number 6. It's gonna be pretty interesting because yesterday, me and Danny, we talked about how we would both choose Kalahari if we are given a choice, but we decided otherwise, and we still got Kalahari. So it's fair to say that we probably won't get it today. I personally want to see us go back to either Nexterra or Alpine. I feel like it's a very good gauge of how the teams are, especially I think the Brazilian teams they're having a really great time on these maps, and it also puts the Indonesian teams to the test.
I want to put my bet on Alpine this time around. I have got my fingers crossed. We were waiting to see a little bit of a comeback from WAG earlier on. They failed us on that one, so perhaps another chance would do the Vietnamese team a little bit of good. Currently, they're sitting down in the dumps, picking up a total of 30 points through the first 5 games. I'm sure they want to bounce back, but of course, off to our MCs we go for the randomizer.
Ô, menino, nem sei qual é a minha hora preferida, mas agora eu fico sempre muito tensa, que eu não sei qual vai ser o mapa. Vamos conferir juntos qual será o último mapa desse dia sensacional, Yansu.
Finally, this is our last map, but we will put it in a random and just scroll it up to see what map will we play today. And let's go ahead to see our random map for the last match here.
Just what the doctor ordered. It's either Alpine or Nexterra, and we get Nexterra. It's also the best map for attack all around that we did say, but at the end of the day, it was Bigatron, Delta. They came out with the Booyah, and definitely going to be feeling really good and fresh heading into Nexterra for the 2nd time in a row.
Falcons have made a strong comeback, at least from the starting parts of the day, just enough to keep themselves on that #1 spot until Corinthians overtook them once again through their fantastic consistency, as well as the Booyah that they picked up for themselves, the 2nd Booyah throughout the knockout stage. And if you talk about the top 3 heading on to this game, it's attack all around, Fluxo and Corinthians.
Might have to put Delta on the position. You get the back-to-back for the Indonesians coming up, Nexterra.
lá, gente, vamos para nossa última queda dessa tarde maravilhosa. A última, porém, não menos importante, né, Yansu?
So this is our last game already. Camilota, do you think that Fluxo can get the booyah this time?
Yes.
Oh, I do believe that as well because I want to see Fluxo rise here. So we get ready to take off right now and I hope you enjoy our last show here.
Bora decolar porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, pega sua pipoca, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
Alright, final round, the penultimate day before knockout stage concludes. And this is do or die for teams in Group B. Some of them have already guaranteed top 12 and point rush. Some of them are hanging in the balance in terms of the tournament runs. I'm looking at Evil Divine, I'm looking at CLG. One last chance for them to create as much distance as possible between them and the other competitors before the end of today.
No if, buts, or maybes. EVOS Divine and CLG need to be in that final circle. Better still, walk away with the booyah. Nando X down on the ground. Falcons looking like they want to finish off the top dogs here early on so that they can be team number 1 by the end of the day. Peter will falter. Omala met by On Fire, circling on around the AN44 in hand.
Oh!
The SMG! And the UFP actually wins this out. Omala, the best one from Corinthians, smashes 2 players at the same time.
Oh, the death dealer from the Corinthians is awakened in this final round. What a 1v1, and the response you can see from Falcons, they were ready to go for a trade, but Omala on the case. He is so aware. The reflexes are inhuman.
Falcons are not going to be able to walk away with a surprise ambush, and they were taught a good lesson from Corinthians. Corinthians are not looking like they want to drop that number 1 spot dominance anytime just yet. The Ali though, squeezed in, will be forced into the back line, and up against Unknown, the man wins it out. MT7 steals the spotlight away from him by sniping him from afar. Mr. Ali's not going to get picked up. Dallas secured by Bobs as well. The biggest winner was Fluxo.
Yeah, they got 3 elims without being involved in any capacity. They just waited for it to all go down. Oh, they're gonna be shut down as well. Unfortunately, it comes at a price. WAG taking out MT7. It's gonna be back up coming in. A couple glue walls put down. GU will be there, but unfortunately, Fluxo can be caught in a pretty rough spot. Here comes Alan with that launcher. Clips MT7, doesn't take him down.
Yeah, Butch is still alive, and now this is trouble zone for WAG. Alan meets a grenade response. Uses the Tatsuya's Rebel Rush to get out of trouble. Good enough for the time being, just to reconnect on the electrotherapy. And now WAG has to depend on X-Ball from up top. The Woodpecker in his hands. Can he get the connections? Yes, he can, but no knockdowns just yet.
And Cyrus is dangerously low. Gets picked up by GU. And now they're going to bring him back up, but Fluxo is not going to get in the spot. We're just in. Be knocked down, Alan. Surviving for now. So going to double up from afar. There's electrotherapy. Gio and Bob teaming up to look for Alan. And there's just no way out. Alan will surrender. Fluxo losing 1, but 5 eliminations for them. They might find number 6. Explore on top of the roof. Gio is marking him.
A misstep here for WAG. You better finish the job if you find the connection onto a Fluxo player. They have proven it right here, right now. X-Ball with the Trogon in hand. No recovery, no revive coming on through. Perhaps this is the end. Geo dropped, X-Ball down on the ground. And they actually did manage to get a revive through by the looks of it.
Yeah, they did. Just barely hanging on by a thread. Cyrus pays it forward, revives X-Ball. But also, heartbreaking news, CLG, they just got wiped out. Only 2 eliminations, so 2 extra points on top of what they already have. Not the most comfortable spot to be in, but that's where they stand by the end of knockouts.
And it looks like CLG will not be making it through the top 12 for the final week of play. I mean, you've just got way too many teams from Group C and A behind them, capable of just picking up Less than 15 points to catch up with CLG. This is unfortunate. That's exactly how it is here. It is an all-out bloodbath to find your seating in the final week of play for sure. Corinthians circling on around, trying to avoid engagement with the players of Falcons, but it's just so long that you can stay away from them. Nando X straight down to the ground. Now Omala, the man who saved the squad earlier on, finding Kororo. Kororo with a connection. Omala with a sliver of health left on him. Does manage to shoo the player away. Kororo not taking advantage of the situation.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so close. Omala actually finds time to heal back up. They don't know where he is. He's a madman. He goes for the swing onto Peter, and Kororo makes it out alive, but brings Peter down low. Unfortunately, there's too much firepower to handle. They put him to rest. Now Zabahia's having to deal with on fire. It's just not possible. Falcons exact revenge. And you can see the pop-ball right there on the screen. Corinthians finally smothered in the final round.
And with that engagement in its own, Falcons have equalized the total number of points that Corinthians have on the overall leaderboard. So for sure, Falcons will be back on that #1 spot for dominance by the end of this game. But the question is, can they put the cherry on top of this pie and grab that booyah as well?
If they can, it would be 3 booyahs in a single day. All 3 booyahs from the knockout stage gathered in one day. It would be quite a momentum boost for Falcons going into tomorrow. Well, with Corinthians out of the equation, the other Brazilian teams will breathe a sigh of relief, especially Fluxo, who now has 9 eliminations in the early game.
Fluxo turning the tables earlier on a great showing. Just making sure WAG does not have their way. Once again, if you stir this Hornet's Nest, you better smoke them out and shut them down instantly. Because that recovery was just way too painful to deal with, and WAG found that out firsthand. Bara on the follow-up. Italo with a 1v2, and it looks like he's just going to be able to pull this off. RGS in his hands. No pop on the grenades in a timely manner. Bara survives the onslaught.
A bit of hesitation from Italo. Not really sure where the EVOS Divine player is. So late on the call, but still, the fact that he survived and backup arrived, Alpine Gaming has a better chance of dealing with EVOS if they wish to continue so. I wonder where the rest of the members are though. There's just only 2 members of Pain in this area. This is the last spot that they were in last time, where they almost took out 4 different teams, if not for the Corinthians. Now they gotta go back to square one and deal with EVOS Divine again.
Players on the revive already. Pain Gaming against Bara. Italo once again. Beautifully executed by the man. Potentially looking for Gade as well. Paybacks on the far left-hand side. Gade should be the first one. Shots from Gade. Italo on the focus here. The pocket market is going to be able to beef them up just slightly. The rest of the EVOS Divines players is gathering back up on this spot, looking to put an end to Pain Game.
They are managing this this area so well, right? Like you see the way that they take these fights. Last round was exactly the same. That's how they were able to 1v3 different teams. It was Divine. This time, it seems like they were able to get control of the area because Pain Gaming, they don't want to hold on that spot due to it not being in the circle. So it's going to be a full retreat for Pain Gaming.
EVOS Divine walks away with nothing, but the recovery is solid, and they still do have their eyes on the backs of Pain Gaming here. EVOS cannot afford to falter. If they fail to get into the final circle and send to the Booyah as well, they will fail to make it through to Point Rush as well as Grand Final. Final week of play will walk away from them. WAG, on the other hand, full squad recovery after the initial showdown up against Fluxo.
The Italo took himself out. That's unfortunate. Probably the RGS misfire or something, as he got knocked down, and then EVOS Divine got a free pickoff. So that revive came at a very odd timing, just as all the teams are moving into the circle. So I'm not sure how Italo's going to survive this. He's probably going to get picked off again.
I mean, you don't want to do that to yourself, for sure. You know, sometimes the finger does accidentally click on the screen. Italo getting shot at by Bigatron Delta. Thankfully, there's a little bit of distraction on the back as EVOS Divine starts firing up against Bigatron's players. R1's Dinoculus gonna scan out the whole part of EVOS Divine, so Begatron knows what to expect from the back. Wasp on the slow approach. UAG finding themselves yet another contender, this time through E1 Sports.
It's a big management for Pain Gaming. Not only that Italo needs time to get his arsenal back, this rotation is going to be tough. Pain Gaming will have to be ready to fight BTR. WAG though finds some respite in that center. Gotta deal with E1 if ever that becomes an issue. WAG, you can see the full team was revived at least once, so having a rough start to this final round as well.
WAG clearly realizing that they were just way too much of a threat, making too much noise at week 1. They slowed the pace down for week 2, but this pace too slow. We'll only find out tomorrow. For the time being, it's not too much to worry about, as they do have 6 more games to play. Final day of the knockout stage. Look at this man, Limit. Oh my god! Finding connection after connection after connection, and finally a knock coming on through. No elimination just yet though.
That was a nasty pixel shot. Well, though I say that Pain Gaming, they are wiping forward BTR off screen on somewhere else. Fluxo now running into Falcons, one of the big fights. Falcons, they did have a momentum after wiping out the Corinthians. Been really good about themselves, but Fluxo for the rush. Corona responds in kind. Peter having to box himself away from the rest of Fluxo. It's going to be isolation tactics from Fluxo. Peter can find the individual members of Falcons. Peter pops his head out, realizes that he cannot find an angle in.
That electrotherapy, look at that connection from afar. Jiu just pushing on forth, really brave. S has got a little bit of backup. Huge amount of HP gets topped right back up if you manually activate your electrotherapy. And it's exactly what Fluxo is trying to take. Make good use of Falcons on the other hand. Now forced on the back foot to tank the damage from the blue, as Fluxo is given the opportunity to gatekeep them.
What is going to be the plan for Falcons? They might have to somehow kind of take a launch pad if they have it. Or they could go back into boxing gym, right? But this rotation is going to be very dangerous. It's about finding cover first and then thinking about the rotation later. And all this chip damage is going to start hurting Falcons. They can't take the side entrance out, but it might lead them into WAG. Attack all around, meanwhile. And 11 eliminations facing off against Pain Gaming, and they're definitely winning out.
Pain was solid earlier on, but Attack All Around just slowly taken over once again. We talked about how they were the best on this map. They clunked out earlier. Looks like they're making the replay work really well for themselves. 11 eliminations strong. Wasp, on the other hand, playing chicken on top of the billboard, but it's only for so long. You can't keep this up. They need a monster truck for sure at this point of time. Question is, can they call upon one?
You can see the idea right there, right? You see that launch pad. They can send themselves straight into the center. If they got a Dinoculus, you can scan the circle and then just take that trip. Here we go. Right into WAG
nice
and
one.
Falcons. But luckily they landed on the side of this building so they don't expose themselves.
Oh, this is super smart play from Wasp. And fingers crossed they find a solid analyst, because the team has just got so much potential. They find the circle over and over again. Just not enough gunfight firepower behind them.
They lost Mr. Ali, so that's going to sting a bit. It was late on that move, so Wasp will have to play with 3 members. Pain Gaming wiped out. As, whoa, Cougar with a 3-man explosion. That's going to be another wipeout.
Oh
courtesy of Attack All Around. That's going to be E1 out of the equation. Attack All Around is really redeeming themselves on Nexterra.
Amen to that. What a play thus far. Solid. The Damage King, Mr. Cougar himself, 4,320 on the damage. Strong from the back. The question is, who knocked the man down from the side of Attack All Around? They are in for a world of trouble. But Attack All Around is going to stay silent for the time being. They've used up too many of their utilities already, especially those lethals. So they need to prey on another squad slowly but surely from the back, and WAG might just be the troubled ones.
Fluxo also don't feel full confidence, right? Can't get into the building without getting shot at by Falcons, so they're just going to play behind. Winston actually finding Big Boss, drops the monster truck as well, providing some decent cover as Falcons decides to back off. So the guy that shot Pundot was actually WAG. Now they're going to feel the pain as BTR gets knocked out in 6th spot. Attack All Around, 16 points. They're about to go for more.
Absolutely, and of course, it's their potential that they become the best team of the day. They need a super massive round They're on the way to getting exactly that done for themselves. Limit X7 has got the YAWM on hand. Massive amount of damage from the gun. And they just can't seem to find a spot onto WAG just yet. Allen kind of holding the back lines here. An attack all around, knowing better than to storm the upper floor prematurely. They want to create an opening for them. Not enough chaos stirred up just yet, and they bide their time down below.
It's too dangerous. Even putting out the glue wall, right? That charge buster in Allen's hands could mean the end for them. But fortunately for Was, they're getting picked off again. Big Boss, Doman, both getting eliminated. Unfortunately, the grenade overhead also making it tougher. GU actually gets knocked down by one more as Falcon starts to make their move. But no confirmed elimination means GU gets picked back up.
This is a massive circle for big teams in here eyeing that booyah. Question is who the first ones to fall down. 3 teams from the east, 1 from the west. And Fluxo, if they can walk away with a booyah here, it would be super impressive.
And the grenade launcher is making it so tough for Falcons. They already lost 2 members. And MT7 plus GU they work together to take out 2 more. Peter just cannot make the escape. Fluxo 15 eliminations. And we're down to the final 3 teams, all of them with the full squad left.
1 down, 2 to go for Brazil. 15 eliminations strong, and it looks like they can allow WAG an attack all around to take each other out of this equation and then hop on into the battle in the final few moments. It's all about who makes the first move here, and it's actually Fluxo trying to flush out the players on the second floor. This might just be a mistake. This gives the opening for attack all around. They try to flank them from the right-hand side. Limit X7 with the AWM in hand, and the Riptide Rhythm is going to be breaking down their defenses, exposing the players off attack all around as they swing around.
It'll be tough. Attack all around. We have to deal with WAG coming up from the building. Duke just rushes in. The guy's a madman, but thankfully the glue wall is going to be dead. The Riptide Rhythm brings all of it down, but out to the waiting hands of Fluxo. Jump God cannot stand, and there's just no chance for anyone. Cyrus is going to start patching himself out. Fluxo will send 2 men in, trying to take him down. Riptide Rhythm from outside the building to break the glue wall. Big brain play from Fluxo, and they have finally earned themselves the second Booyah in knockout.
And also setting the record potentially for the highest number of points picked up in a single game. My goodness me, Brazil had to fight against 3 strong contenders from Southeast Asia, but proving to be the better squad compared to all of them. What a game for Fluxo!
Finally getting a Booyah that's eluded them for 12 rounds in week number 2. They could have easily gotten 2 yesterday if not for BRU, but this one is redemption. This one is vindication at the end. And of course, the cherry on top, this big spray that Riptide Rhythm from outside the building to ensure that they break the glue walls and take down Cyrus to not risk that medkit play. Absolute chef kiss. So finally, we're going to talk to Fluxo before we send them off at the end of knockouts.
Buiazão do Brasil, finalizando o dia com chave de ouro nas mãos dos bichos papões, do bicho papão do Indie Game por aqui. Vamos trocar uma ideia com o Capita agora nesse momento, please, Yusu.
Finally, it's the moment you've been waiting for, Carol. The Booyah for the Brazil teams. I'm happy for you anyway. So, Bobs, first of all, congratulations on your Booyah for Fluxo. So, we're almost at the end of knockout stage already. So, and I think this week your team did a very good job. They have a very good performance. So, do you think that you can like climb the top 1 of Buram United Eastward? Because since, you know, I think you guys have something with each other, you know?
Da hora a pergunta da Yusu. Ela falou assim, basicamente sobre a Buriram, né? Que vocês têm uma competição entre eles, são 2 times muito grandes, os campeões do mundo, na verdade. E ela quer saber se você tem algum propósito de ir atrás da Buriram, se vocês estão pensando em, quem sabe, atrás deles para eles não ganharem.
Primeiramente, nós estamos focando no nosso jogo da classificatória, de conseguir boas causas para a final. Com certeza nossas causas, né, para a grande final. Na grande final vai ser um grande jogo, vai ser de igual para igual. Nós e o Buriram sempre tem uma disputa boa. Vai vencer o melhor time.
Perfect. He basically said the best team will win.
So we are focused on ourselves right now. We are trying to find the best landing calls in the maps, and we are not very worried about Bermuda because we know that during the grand finals is a totally different day. So right now we were just focused in the knockout stage.
I agree with that. Good answer.
Okay, so this was the last day for Fluxo team here, and I would like to know if you guys are happy with your results and you guys have done everything you have planned. Já que esse foi o último dia para o Fluxo aqui, eu quero saber se vocês estão felizes com o resultado de vocês e se vocês fizeram tudo que vocês estavam planejando.
Estamos felizes, estamos sempre buscando a evolução. O campeonato aqui é assim, é você começar de um jeito e se adaptando e sempre evoluindo, cada dia que passa evolui mais. Nós estamos evoluindo, estamos confiantes pro Point Rush, também para a grande final. Se Deus quiser, vamos ser campeões.
Perfect. He basically said, we wish to be champions here, we wish to remain with the trophy here in Brazil, and we understand that every stage is a different stage, so we are trying to focus once again in ourselves, in our game, and we are in continued development here.
That's good.
That was good. Pra gente finalizar, Capita, manda aí a sua mensagem pra torcida do Fluxo, que eu tenho certeza que tá muito feliz com vocês nesse momento, que a gente pode dizer que vocês estão praticamente classificados já pra próxima fase.
Agradecer a todo mundo da torcida, todo mundo que tá aqui apoiando, soltando a hashtag Fluxo no chat, que está torcendo, que vai torcer no dia 24. Tudo isso aqui é por vocês também, que fazem um show à parte, na grande final vamos fazer um show. Então muito obrigado pela torcida, pelo apoio, por todas as mensagens, né, nós? Vá, pô, segue o Fluxo.
Vamos lá, família, de melhores momentos então, porque a gente conseguiu finalizar o dia com o buiazão brasileiro nas mãos do Fluxo, atuais campeões mundiais, e vamos seguir aí. Yusu, please.
Finally, we end our match day, the match 2 of a very beautiful Booyah from Fluxo, but not the end yet. We will see you guys later with the MVP interview, but this is the end of our interview with Fluxo Bobs. Congratulations, and we'll stop here and move to the caster and see our highlights.
From coming close so many times to finally getting it done, Fluxo, with that one solid booyah from the day, shoots themselves up to the #1 spot to be the most dominant team. What a way for Brazil to bring day 5 to a close.
Most dominant team of the day, and yeah, I think that's the new record for the most points in a single day, right? 34 points. We thought that attack all around, when they dropped the 30 bomb, is going to be the record of the day, but Fluxo one-upped them on the map, where we said that attack all around is going to be performing the best on, but 2 times in a row, attack all around missed out the booyah, but Fluxo didn't. And I think that's good enough. Fluxo definitely giving us a very good benchmark of what to expect when we head into that point rush, because like I said, they're focusing on every stage of the game because it's always going to be different. They need to be at their best for point rush and at their most optimal for the grand finals. But this one is a good taste test of where they are right now.
Fluxo proving it that if it all came down to that one game, they can get the job done. If it all came down to that one day, they can get the job done. Granted, of course, today we don't have Buriram and Twisted Minds in the mix. WAG kind of faltered, kind of failed to bring out the very best within themselves today, only picking up a total of 42 points and third from the very bottom. And below them was CLG and 6K, which means this is the end of the road for CLG. But looking at the MVP, Bobs with a total of 8 eliminations, 11 assists. My God, this man totally picking up 4,932 damage and the weapon of destruction, those grenades.
Yeah, that's kind of what you do, right? It's not just as a bomber, but also as the captain of the team, literally taking matters into his own hands. Supports with the Cassie, supports with utilities, but can drop bodies when needed. And the second one also, Jiu having a massive round. Him and Bobs alone found 15 eliminations, more than half of the total of the team.
The only other team to hit 34 points was WAG, but if you compare that team's run alongside Fluxo today, they just don't compare at all. Fluxo was playing this on a whole other level. A little bit of a consolation mention here for attack all around Skooga, who outdid Bobs with his damage. We saw the triple bomber that he pulled away with his grenade launcher earlier, but of course Bobs just walked away the better Grenadier in the overall game scheme of things through those eliminations. Gio getting the highlight as well. Kuga and Jump God showing up, which means Attack all around had pretty decent points through those eliminations, but just not enough to overtake Fluxo from their performance for the day.
And with that round, Fluxo actually pulls ahead of WAG and Triple A by more than 100 points. So if we want to see, you know, WAG or Attack all around overtake Fluxo, they gotta have a hell of a day tomorrow. More than 100 points in 6 rounds. So man, really shows us the dominance that Fluxo has. Even Corinthians, right? Their knockout stage ends here alongside Biggest and Delta. 260 points, 243 points respectively. Not too shabby. It really comes down to, you know, what the teams from Group A and C do tomorrow. But of course, our MVP of the day spotlighted on the captain of Fluxo. It's Bob's gonna hand him the award for the MVP of the day and talk to him about it.
MVP do dia nas mãos do Capita, do Fluxo. E ó, ele tá aqui com a câmerazinha dele de jogador. Eu quero fazer questão aqui, ó. É sua, Bobs. Tó, congratulations! É isso. Parabéns, MVP Kaspersky do dia nas mãos do capitão do Fluxo, Bobs. Vamos mais uma entrevistinha com ele aqui, né? Que ele já falou algumas coisas, já mandou um salve pra torcida, mas vamos conversar agora sobre ele. Please, Yusu.
So finally we meet again with Bobs being the MVP of the day. So as the first Brazilian team and also the first Brazilian got the MVP, is there any thoughts you want to share to the viewers?
Say that again, please.
Being the first MVP as a Brazilian team and also a first Brazilian, do you have any thoughts you want to share to the viewers?
Perfeito. Como o primeiro time a ganhar o MVP, como o primeiro time brasileiro, né? E o único time brasileiro a ganhar o MVP aqui, quero saber se você tem alguma coisa para falar para os fãs em relação ao MVP.
Só agradecer mesmo, todo mundo que torce, apoia, agradecer também ao meu time, que pô, foi graças a eles também. Consegui pegar muitos abates, jogando de cast também. E aí, só agradecer.
I just want to say thank you to all the fans and especially to my team because they helped me to reach that. And I'm very happy right now and that's it. Okay, so throughout the matches you seem very angry and we see that you keep standing up and pointing to the other teams. I would like to know, how do you feel about yourself as a captain team? I know you got a lot of pressure. And also, how was the talk with your team back home before today for you guys have such a great performance here? Eu acho que você entendeu um pouquinho, tá? Que o cara aqui também dá aulas no inglês, mas durante as partidas e durante as trocações você parecia estar muito bravo, você levantava, apontava, farpava contra os outros times. E eu quero saber como é que você se avalia, você como capitão, e também como é que foi a conversa no hotel aí com o seu time.
Mano, tipo, pô, os caras querem quebrar nossa cal, pô, tá de maluco? Que isso, não dá pra entender, né? Mas aí, pô, teve que botar respeito, botar a moral. Graças a Deus ganhamos todas do campeonato, né? Estávamos perdendo os treinos, mas pô, dia de jogo é jogo e ganhamos todas. Então tivemos uma ótima conversa no quarto também. O Luquinho deu aquela ajuda, né? Aquela motivação. Então conseguimos vir bem para hoje. Como eu falei, estamos sempre em constante evolução.
We are in continual development, as I said before, and I just wanted to show the other teams that we are here and we wanted to be respected because we are the world champions.
Oh.
And we have talked a lot back home with the full team and with our coach, and we have fixed our mistakes, and also we are here to show what we came for, and we want to continue being the champions.
But Carol, I remember that, I think in the second game, he stand up and he clap like this, you remember?
Yeah, for what?
Wow, what is that? What happened?
Teve uma partida que foi a quebra contra o Ag e ela quer saber por que você levantou e bateu palma.
Tipo, já tinha rolado essa resenha no playtest, né? Nós ganhamos deles no playtest, eu bati palma. Pô, vocês estão de parabéns, amassaram 4 kills pra nós. Aí aconteceu no campeonato, bati palma de novo, amassaram, então de parabéns.
Okay, so that have happened during the playtest.
Oh.
And actually he was making fun of Double AG and he was like, okay, congratulations, you're just giving kills and eliminations for us. You guys are good for us, actually.
Why you be like that? Why you be like that? Switch it up. Okay. So tomorrow we will have Buriram United Esports, right? And they're ahead above you guys 14 points. So do you think like tomorrow will Buriram take the MVP again and will they dominate the knockout stage, or you guys will be the one who
Amanhã a Buriram vai vir jogar aqui. Ela quer saber se a Buriram vai dominar a fase classificatória. A Buriram é a melhor do mundo ou só vocês são os melhores?
Nós somos atuais, né? E vamos ser bicampeões, mas a Buriram é um excelente time que nós temos sempre o que aprender com eles. Todos os campeonatos nós aprendemos muito com eles e estamos aprendendo agora para chegar forte na final contra eles.
We learn a lot from Buriram. Actually, we respect them, but we are the champions.
Yeah.
And we will continue being the champions here. Not space for Buriram at all. Bobs, antes dessa última partida, você não estava na disputa contra o MVP, mas você entrou na disputa porque você fez 20 eliminações no total do dia. Só para você entender, você estava contra o Limit, você estava contra o On Fire, você estava contra o Hack, você estava contra várias pessoas aqui. E eu quero saber como é que você... o que você tem a dizer sobre você no dia de hoje?
O dia de hoje era um dia que nós estávamos testando, até que joguei contra o personagem, mas quando cheguei na última queda ali, vi que tava com 12, tinha quebra em volta, falei, acho que dá pra pegar o MVP, tem que dar o buia, mas eu não sabia, porque a Falcons deu 2 buia, né, eu não sabia como seria, mas graças a Deus deu tudo certo.
Perfeito. So I basically asked him what he have to say about himself because he was in a tied against Limit from AAA, against On Fire, and one more from Team Falcons, and Haki from Corinthians. And I would like him to evaluate himself for today. And he basically said that he didn't know about that. He was just focused on his game and he was just focused to have a good day with his full team. Mas é isso, minha família. Vamos voltar lá para nossa mesa de casters, porque a gente precisa finalizar o dia. E que entrevista boa que a gente teve aqui com o nosso Capita. Fluxo terminando o dia deles em grande estilo, com um buiazão e levando o MVP Kaspersky para casa. É isso, tamo junto, tropa!
Yes, and this is the end of our interview with the MVP of the day. And we would like to say thank you to Kaspersky for sponsoring this beautiful trophy to our MVP today, Fluxo Bobs. And that's all. Let's head back to our caster and see the highlights and recap.
Team current reigning world champions from Magic Squad now in Fluxo. MVP of the day. Thank you, Kaspersky, for the wonderful trophy. It's always great to see Brazil showing up, especially when the entire World Series is held in Brazil. Back to where it all began.
Absolutely, and of course, taking a quick peek here at the MVP leaders led by Buriram's Wasana, mainly because they've got the most number of booyahs in the competition. Limit in that second spot with the 3 MVPs, followed by Get High, Jonah, and Twisted Minds. My God, what am I looking at? It is all out Thailand here on the MVP leaderboard.
Not a surprise, you know, it's just another day for Thailand, I guess, regardless of the region. But of course, team of the day is Fluxo. 61 eliminations, single booyah, and not to mention that the other 5 rounds where they didn't get the booyah, they placed pretty well in most of them. So this is an amazing day for Fluxo.
Absolutely. Once again, the motto for them is no booyah, no problem in terms of picking up those points. Aggression, limitless. They, at this point of time, hold the most number of eliminations on the overall leaderboard. Granted, Group A still has not completed their games just yet, so that one is bound to be exceeded tomorrow. But as far as the best team for the day is concerned, Fluxo grabs that 99 points, and that was a mad dash just using that final game as that launch pad. 34 points, massive in terms of closing out their run here at the knockout stage.
Yeah, I mean, 99 points for Fluxo, 95 for Falcons, 95 for Corinthians. Woo! Get a lot of this. Corinthians been really good about themselves. Overall standings, of course, Fluxo will end their run in knockouts in second spot. Corinthians in fourth, almost guaranteed top 12 unless something goes horribly wrong tomorrow. Of course, the teams that are grayed out will be joining in tomorrow alongside with the teams from Group C, which means that we will have 5 teams getting removed at the end of tomorrow as we pick our top 12 to move on to Point Rush.
Bigatron Delta confirming that their spot here in the final week of play already through this fantastic play for themselves. RRQ currently are in the bottom 5. EVOS Divine is not, but that is soon to change as EVOS Divine has run out of matches to play already. RRQ has 6 more on their side. So there's a big potential we get another Indonesian team in, unless, of course, all of Chaos breaks out tomorrow and Indonesia picks up no points here, Husky.
I'm telling you, the benchmark is actually incredibly low, right? So EVOS Divine and CLG are done. The team behind them is Pain Gaming. Pain Gaming just needs 1 point to tie with CLG, 5 points to tie with EVOS Divine, and they got 6 rounds to do it. If I lower the bar a little bit, E1, they need less than 10 points to tie with EVOS Divine. So fate is not with them, right? It's completely gone out of their control.
And there's potential even Reda Esports still stands a chance here.
Yeah.
But of course, that's a battle to talk about tomorrow. You know, what's going to be depending on if or not Reda Esports does make it through to the top 12 is if they do better than teams like Hua Esports as well as RRQ, who have had their days of struggle in here thus far. So there might still be a chance that we get to see Mexico in the final week.
And if you see either or, right? If Pain makes it, if E1 makes it, if Reda makes it, it's all going to be historical, right? Like WSK, their chances have ran out, and 6 Karma is way too far away unless they get 6 bomber rounds tomorrow. So either way, I'm excited to see what this top 12 team is going to be. I think we'll have a fantastic lineup for the finals. History has already been made. It's more of who will be part of it.
That is most definitely true. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has been a fantastic day in here today to see Brazil just really rise up to the occasion, especially the way Corinthians just knocked the ball out of the park. 2 booyahs for them in the overall grand scheme of things here at the knockout stage. 1 from the day, but more importantly, the total number of points that they picked up shows us that Brazil is going to have a good time at the final week. And with Fluxo using that final match as the launch pad to get that #1 spot also shows us a little bit of a preview of what could happen on the grand finals day. Granted, we still do not have the combination of Buriram and Twisted Minds thrown into this mad mix as well, with Falcons still pretty much hiding what they can really do out there on the battlefield. WAG having their ups and downs. It is going to be the global finals you do not want to miss out on, because it's just going to be all-out chaos. All 6 games at the grand finals will be ones that will blow your minds for sure. But of course, we start things off on the final week with the point rush first, which is it has been revamped quite a little bit. But in order to find out who our top 12 is for the final week of chaos, you have to join us tomorrow right here, same time, same place. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with Husky. We're signing off for the day. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.